is swung on and hit in the air to right field deep. And you can't forget about this one. Blaze Salter hits number 5, and the Newport Gulls retake the lead.
This is the Newport Gulls pregame show, live from Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island.
Gone! A grand slam! Sure left power, right tower power, and the Gulls walk off in the 15th inning!
Coming up, interviews, stats, standings, lineups, and a whole lot more.
Tomas steps on the back for one out, throws to first, it is in time, a double play!
Pitch, breaking ball lifted deep to center field, and it is gone! A 2-run shot for Cody Hosey.
A high drive, left field deep. Lozano going back, looking up. This ball is a 2-run homer. P.J. Jones hits it out.
Stay tuned. The pregame show begins now on the NECBL Broadcast Network. In his first season covering Newport Gulls baseball, here's play-by-play broadcaster Stephen Huff.
After nearly every game was rained out last night in the NECBL, we're cleared for action tonight as Newport is ready for their game against the Southern Division leading 10-3 Mystic Schooners here on Newport Daily News Night. How you doing, everybody? Stephen Huff getting you set for tonight's matchup between the Newport Gulls and Mystic Schooners here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Newport picked up their 7th win of the season on Monday against the New Bedford Base Sox, led by Jordan Marks on the mound, who pitched 7 innings, gave up just 2 runs while striking out 8, including 6 batters in a row, en route to their 11-4 victory over the Bay Sox. On the other side of things, Mystic comes into this one with the best record in the NECBL, and their last time out, well, they continued their winning ways, beating the Ocean State Waves by a score of 12-4. It's the Schooners and Gulls right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. The Gulls pregame show starts right now. Welcome back to the Gulls pregame show here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. It's time for the Broadcasters Roundtable. Stephen Huff alongside the Gulls field reporter Nick Bello and the voice of the Mystic Schooners, Laura Hoover. Now, Nick, we're going to turn to you first. Of course, another strong pitching performance from the Gulls. Started with Jordan Marks, and then the bullpen came in and shut things down as usual. And that's really been the story of the season for the Gulls, hasn't it?
Yes, absolutely. The pitching has been consistent throughout from the start of the season to where we are right now. And I mean, there's nothing really to change, I would think, with them. Only just, get maybe a little bit better, start closing out games a lot better. But other than that, it's been pretty good so far.
Now, tonight's the 3rd matchup for the Gulls against the Schooners. They haven't beat them yet, but the bats are starting to heat up a little bit. They scored 8 last time against the Schooners, scored 11 against the Base Sox just last time out. The bats slowly starting to creep up. Is that their key to success here tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. Their bats, got off to that slow start at the beginning of the season, and we're starting to see them heat up now. So time can only tell what they're going to be like July and August. So they're definitely trending in the right direction.
Laura, I'm going to turn to you now. Last time we saw each other, it was a week ago as of today. In the meantime, you guys fell to the Bay Sox, and then you guys stormed back the next night. Angry victory, 12-4 victory over the Ocean State Waves. Fill us in. How you guys looking?
Well, we're looking really excited for tonight. We had Nolan Kessinger hit another grand slam, so that makes 3 different Schooners with 3 different grand slams and 3 different teams in 3 different games, if that follows a little bit. But it really came down to the bullpen Monday night against Ocean State, where it was Trey McLaughlin going 3 innings shutout, fell in the 4th, but him and Alex Stiegler, 2 guys who have gone at least 5 innings pitched, and that's what we're looking forward towards Lucas Hansen, who has gone 5 innings pitched before, and he has done some pretty solid work. 9 innings in total, 2 games started, so solid work coming from him, and he's got 9 strikeouts so far. Looking to get a little bit more out of him tonight.
So you're talking about the starting pitcher tonight. Let's take a look at the lineup a little bit for Mystic. Who's stepping out tonight? You guys got a lot of good bats out there. We looked at T.T. Bowens a little bit, David Beam. Those the same usual suspects for you guys?
You definitely got to have those 3, the top 3 of the order. Definitely going to be Barmakian, Beam, T.T. Bowens. But then you also got to start looking at the bottom of the order, which we saw really start happening against you guys last week, and it's been heavy ever since then. So you got Vinny Martin starting to come alive. You have Nolan Kessinger starting to come alive. And you even now have in the lineup Daidai Otaka, who should be working his bat really well here pretty quickly.
Well, should be a good one in store. The Gulls pregame show continues next here on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Welcome back to the NECBL pregame show. I'm Zach Letson here with ticket operations manager Lucas DeLaurier. Lucas, I'm curious, how did you gain interest and how did you find out about this position with the Newport Gulls?
So I've grown up in the Newport area. I live in Jamestown, and I've lived in North Kingstown. I grew up kind of coming to these games, and with my major being finance, I've always wanted to be involved in the business of sports. So I figured this would be a great position to open the door into that opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. I know you have a position with the Newport Gulls Youth Summer Camps, and I'm curious, talk a little bit about what you do with them.
So with the camps, I work with our coaches and our players to kind of administer those. We run them in all over Aquidneck Island, so Newport, Portsmouth, and Middletown. We have 5 weeks, and it's really to serve the local youth community and really put it on for them. So,
and we're almost halfway through the season. I was wondering, what are you looking forward to as the summer continues here with Newport?
It's just been fun to get to know the other interns, get to know some of the players, and kind of build a family atmosphere, something that is fun to be a part of in the summer rather than just working a day-to-day job. And I just love being around baseball, so it's been fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Lucas, I appreciate your time. The pregame show continues next, right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Welcome back to the pregame show here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Nick Bell here with Zaid Walker. Now, Zaid, this is Ask a Goal, where we ask our fans on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all social media, some questions for you to ask you. So our first question is, who has the best hair on the team?
I mean, I honestly would say myself, but I'd say Chris Hamilton with the best hair. He has like the kind of Billy Ray Cyrus kind of look. So,
Chris, can we see your hair?
He's got a mullet.
Yeah. Chris is coming out right now. Take your hat off. Yeah, when you see your hair. Oh, that's pretty nice. Yeah. Yeah, it's you.
I think it's me. You're a close second.
Oh,
So
that's
we
true.
had the same opinion.
All right, so that's Chris's hair. And now, who's the best-looking coach on the team? Now, this.
Sorrow, he's a smooth dude. I think I could take a lot of things from him. A lot of tips.
I would have to agree on that one.
Yeah.
Jim Sorrow is probably one of the funniest people on the team.
Yeah.
Now, your cereal of choice.
Frosted Flakes.
Why?
Just never could go wrong with Frosted Flakes. It might be basic, but it's always going to be good. So.
I agree with that one. What is your spirit animal?
My what?
Spirit animal.
Golden Retriever.
Why?
It's the nicest one, and they're always friendly and just good-looking dogs. So.
No, I agree with that one. Yeah, you're definitely a golden retriever. Who do you think would be the best singer on the team, or who is the best singer on the team?
Scott.
Why?
He just looks like he can sing, and I wouldn't be surprised if he could. Should we tell him to come sing a little? Come on.
Scott, come sing a little.
Come sing a little.
Oh, it's okay.
Star Spangled Banner.
Now we're at Scott Holzwasser if he can sing the Star Spangled Banner, our national anthem. Scott was here last week for Ask a Goal. Scott, so we're going to ask you to sing the Star Spangled Banner, if you know the words.
Can you sing with me?
No.
Sure.
No.
No, yeah, I think we can get both.
You were the best singer, not Zaid.
Say, can you see? Yeah, next line. I'm done.
Oh, he's done. I think that was pretty good, Scott. I'll applaud you for that performance, Scott. Oh, Zaid, you weren't impressed with that.
I wasn't. Kind of disappointed me. But my second choice would be Austin James.
Oh, Austin James. Yeah. Okay, that's a good one, I think. Do you want him? Want us to get him out here too?
Yeah. I don't want to get disappointed again. So.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. That's true. All right. So our last question is actually a trivia question. If you get this wrong, nothing happens. If you get it right, nothing happens.
Okay.
So, which president was married in Newport?
Abraham Lincoln.
No. One other guess?
George Washington.
No, it is John F. Kennedy.
I was about to say that, I swear.
It was almost. Well, the pregame show continues next on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
It's time for the manager show. Stephen Huff alongside the Gulls manager, Kevin Winterroad. And Coach, a couple weeks ago when we were doing this pregame, you talked about how the Bats are always slower to get going in summer ball, and now the Bats have got going. They're 4th in the league in batting average, 3rd in slugging, towards the top in the league now, and they have got going.
Yeah, we kind of expected that all along. But the biggest thing about a league like this is they just need at-bats. And the more at-bats that they get, the better it comes around.
And now, new bat in the lineup tonight, Hayden Jones, catcher from Mississippi State. What can Gulls fans expect in his debut, and not just in his debut, but moving forward throughout the summer?
Well, I think he's a big, strong, physical, left-handed kid that's going to give us another probably power bat from the left side. So we're excited. Honestly, it's hard to honestly know what a kid is till you see some live bullets. So we're going to learn a little bit about him tonight, just like everybody else.
Well, in one of the previous segments here today, in the Ask a Goal with Zaid Walker, it was who has the best hair on the team. Justin Cherry on the mound is one of those candidates probably. But on the baseball field, what does he have to offer up on the starting mound for the Gulls here tonight?
Well, the biggest thing is he competes and he can throw multiple pitches for strikes in any count and things like that. And he pitched a lot of big games this year at Rhode Island. And so most of the games that he comes into here are just kind of going through, their regular starts for him. So experience goes a long ways when you get to a league like this.
All right, thank you, Coach. He's Kevin Winterode. I'm Stephen Huff. Gulls and Schooners coming up next here on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Once again, here's Stephen Huff and the Newport Gulls broadcast team.
Welcome into the City by the Sea for tonight's matchup between the 7-5 Newport Gulls and the 10-3 Mystic Schooners on Newport Daily News Night, where the first 250 fans get free adult-sized Gulls t-shirts, courtesy of Chris Electric. Stephen Huff here, alongside Laura Hoover, the voice of the Mystic Schooners, and Nick Bello, the Gulls field reporter. Thank you both for joining me here tonight. Of course, it's the third matchup between these two teams. Schooners 2-0 against the Gulls so far. Gulls just recently picked up their 7th win of the season, defeating the New Bedford Bay Sox their last time out by a score of 11-4. It was a really solid outing for Jordan Marks on the mound. We talked about him a little bit in the pregame segments. Pitched 7 innings, gave up 2 runs, struck out 8 batters, including 6 in a row at one point, while giving up just 1 walk. And then it was a great performance as well for the hitters, as they're starting to heat up as the season goes along. 2 runs in the 6th, 6 in the 7th, and then 3 more in the 8th, as they scored 11 on the day. So that's how Newport got their 7th win of the season. Laura, I'm going to look over to you, though. Of course, Mystic comes into this one with the best record in the NECBL. We saw you a week ago today. Last time out, a big win over the Ocean State Waves, 12-4. I mean, Mystic looks like one of the best teams in the league. Obviously, the record shows it.
Well, it really came down to the bullpen against Ocean State, in the 4th inning. A lot of heavy hitting. You had a single by Barmakian and a walk by Toke and a walk by T.T. Bowens. We saw a lot of walks that game to load the bases, then a grand slam by Nolan Kessinger, and then bullpen, Trey McLaughlin, 5 2/3, only gave up 3 hits and 1 run and only walked 1 guy, struck out 5.
Well, we'll get more onto our matchup here tonight. What we're going to do is we're going to send it down to the field for tonight's national anthem. Tonight's national anthem was sung by Newport County Youth Chorus under the direction of Elizabeth Woodhouse. Welcome in, everybody. Stephen Huff, alongside the voice of the Mystic Schooners, Laura Hoover, and the Gulls field reporter, Nick Bello. And Nick, with you, since you're with us here in the booth, welcome back, of course.
Thank you.
You've been gone for a little bit.
Just one game,
yeah. Just one game. It felt like much longer.
It did. For you especially.
For me especially. Since you're with us in the booth, I'm going to send it over to you. You're going to get your work in here tonight. Fill us in on last night's games or look around the league for who's playing tonight.
All right, thank you, Stephen. So we have Keene at Upper Valley tonight, Vermont at Wippasaga tonight, Sanford at North Adams, Danbury at Martha's Vineyard, Ocean State at New Bedford, and of course, Mystic visiting Newport here tonight. I'm going to take it around the standings too. So in the North Division, we have North Adams in first with a 9-4 record, and then we have two-way tie in second with Keene and Valley. Upper Valley is in fourth, Vermont in fifth, Sanford in sixth, and Wippasaga in last place with a 2-9 record. As for the South, we have Mystic with a 10-3 record leading the South. Danbury in second, Newport in third, Martha's Vineyard in fourth, Ocean State in fifth, and New Bedford with a 3-9 record rounding out the South. Stephen, back to you, my friend.
So, of course, with those standings and a couple of those games tonight in the South, some of those standings might shape up a little bit because of the outcomes here tonight. I'm going to look over to you, Laura. Now, taking a look at let's start off with your guys' lineup. I know we talked about it a little bit in the pregame, but take us through the whole thing because last time we were here, we thought it was going to be a top-heavy lineup that looked out, but everyone ended up contributing to your guys' team.
Well, the past few games, that has certainly been the case, and we can't disregard virtually anybody on this Schooners lineup. But starting to lead off, number 18, Steve Barmakian out at third base this evening. Following him in the 2-hole, number 13, David Beam, who consistently out at center field for the Schooners, a designated hitter, and in the third spot, number 25, T.T. Bowens. Cleaning up, number 30, Matthew Toke, who's going to be out at first base tonight. Behind the plate, number 24, Jerry Hunsinger, starting off the middle of the order. Number 11, Nolan Kessinger, who's going to be actually out in left field this evening, taking over for Shane Kelly. Starting at the bottom of the order, number 16, Isaiah Byers, who's our traditional shortstop. In the outfield alongside the powerhouses, Vinny Martin, who's going to be out in right field traditionally as always for the Schooners. And now seeing his first time at Cardines Field, bottom of the order, number 2, Dai Otaka, second baseman for the Schooners.
And facing off against the Schooners on the mound for the Gulls will be Justin Cherry, making his third start in Newport. He is a 5.63 ERA for the Gulls coming into this one, a 1-1 record. Through 8 innings pitched, he's given up 6 runs, 5 of them earned through off of 9 hits. He's walked 4 batters with 7 strikeouts. Now taking a look at the Gulls lineup here tonight. Scott Holzwasser of Northeastern will be leading things off. He'll be playing second base tonight, followed by Chris Hamilton of Stony Brook, who will be playing first. And Colton Bender, he'll be in charge of the catching duties. He'll be batting third, followed by Brett Bosick in the cleanup spot. He'll be playing right field. And then Austin James in the 5-hole of Missouri. He'll be playing third base tonight. And then Hayden Jones of Mississippi State. He'll be the designated hitter for the Gulls. He is making his Gulls debut here tonight. And then in 7th spot for the Gulls in their lineup, Michigan State center fielder Zaid Walker, followed by Joey Bellini of Cincinnati, tonight's shortstop. And then rounding out the order is Greg Cavalieri of URI, and he'll be patrolling down the line in left field. So that is the Gulls lineup. Now, who is going to be pitching against the Gulls?
Well, that would be Luke Hansen, having a 2 ERA so far this season. Although he hails from Southold, New York, and from Sacred Heart University, one of the pioneers, the sophomore standing 6'3" on the mound this evening. A little bit different than normal. He's one of the starters for the Schooners, and a lefty on the mound. And of course, he's only started in 2 games. Both of them he has pitched consecutively together 9 innings, has allowed 7 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned. Gave up 6 walks, which has been a problem for the Schooners in general. 9 strikeouts, 1 home run, 37 batters faced, 1 wild pitch, no hit batters, and no balks. Pitching against batters facing around 226.
And of course, the umpires here tonight, Stephen Williams. He was Monday's umpire in the field. He will be behind the plate. And then the field umps are Keith Peterson and Kenny Tucci. The weather for tonight at first pitch, it is 69 degrees, 10% chance of rain later on, so we are in luck. Seems like that will miss us. There's a 10-mile-per-hour wind out of the south. So a little bit cloudy, but overall, a pretty good day. A lot of rain yesterday. Only one game got played in the NECBL. Seems like all of them are getting played here today. And for us, selfishly, the one right in front of us is getting played, so that's good news.
Yep. It seems like a complete 180 turn from yesterday's weather to today's weather. Because I was out of the press box with the Schooners all day yesterday trying to do some equipment tests, and I just slowly watched the field sink underwater about every other hour or so. I was like, oh, it's gotten deeper. Oh, great. This is lovely.
Well, taking a look defensively for the goals, taking a look from the left to right in the outfield, Greg Cavalieri, Saeed Walker, and then Brett Vosick, and then same thing in the infield, left to right, Austin James of Missouri, Joey Bellini of Cincinnati, Scott Holzwasser, and Chris Hamilton. And then behind the plate is the Quinnipiac catcher, Colton Bender. As Steve Barmakian settles in, third baseman of George Washington. Righty on lefty matchup for Justin Cherry on the mound to start things off. Barmakian, a .271 hitter for George Washington this spring. .271 hitter this spring, .289 this summer so far for the Schooners. Has a long swing for a strike. 0-1.
Yeah, Barmakian doing a pretty solid job this season. Has really come into his own as the leadoff man for the Schooners.
Cherry looking on out of the windup, delivers 0-1 fastball. This is the bottom edge of the zone. 1-1.
And like you said, batting at .289 this season, although he's on base .458. And he's only missed, I believe, 2 games so far.
Now this 1-1 pitch flowing in towards the screen along the third base line. So 1-2. Yeah, .289 average. You mentioned the great on-base percentage, though. I believe he leads the team in walks with 10 walks on the season so far. So no wonder. I mean, he's the leadoff man for the Schooners.
He had one really good day.
Now he's going to pull this one into deep right. Going back is Vosick, looking up at the fence off the top of it. And Barmakian starts things off here in Newport with a leadoff double.
I'm going to say a great one day he started off with the leadoff single, and that was over against Danbury. But it seems that he's doing a little bit better tonight already.
Had to one-up himself. That was nearly off the netting.
Yeah.
Up there, which... Of course, the fences here are 28 feet high. The netting is 41 feet. Now, if it is off the netting, it is still a home run. And so that was nearly a home run, but it is a double. It was still the fence line. So a leadoff double for the Schooners. That will bring up David Beam. Hitting .405, leads the team in average.
And one of the best in the league so far as well. In the top 5, I believe, at this point.
I think he is top. I think he is number 5 in the league. Cherry looking on out of the stretch. Fastball misses up 1-0.
Yeah, Beam did not have a good day up against Ocean State. Only able to reach once on a single, and then he was able to reach on an error and a walk. So, I mean, it helps his on base incredibly. But at the same time, he's one of those guys who likes to go for the hit, but he will take the on base happily.
Big swing and a miss from Beam. 1-1. Yeah, and he's a guy that can historically hit for average, and so on an off day, the stats suggest that he might figure it out today, but you never know if a guy's going through a slump or not. But it is early here in the first. Runner on second for the Schooners, 0-0. Cherry on the mound working against Beam, 1-1. 1-1 count, excuse me.
It's not. If it was 1-1, we'd have a problem, considering we're only at the top of the first.
That'd be a first, I'm sure. Cherry, breaking ball misses up. 2-1.
And not physically possible.
Yeah.
Well, the scoreboard could be wrong.
That's true. Good point.
In this case, it's just a broadcaster. So. Now the 2-1 from Cherry. Fastball misses inside. 3-1.
So a little bit less dangerous?
Yeah. Well, going back to the at-bat here, you mentioned his on base going up. A good hitter, probably going to have the green light here, but already in a hitter's count, so that on base might go up even if he works a walk here. Cherry looking on, working from first base side of the rubber. Looking over at Barmakian at second, now delivers a 3-1. Beam watches it buzz over the heart of the plate, so count now full.
Beam, realistically, this past season, I've been noticing he likes to mirror whatever Barmakian does to the equivalent or a base or a strikeout beneath him. So seeing him draw the full walk is not unnatural. More than likely, he should be able to draw a base.
This 3-2 pitch catches Beam swinging for strike 3. So one away here in the first. That's first strikeout of the day for Cherry.
And I will take back what I said.
That will bring up T.T. Bowens. So Beam went down with a 405 average. Bowens, though, comes up with a 344, so not too shabby himself. And 4 home runs to his name.
4 home runs, 1 a grand slam, a 3-run shot, and 2 solo home runs, I believe, as well.
So his first pitch, big swing and a miss, long swing, 0-1.
I think it was actually in this game that we saw Bowens go down 5 times swinging.
Yeah, it was. It was a tough night for him, which is an uncharacteristic thing for Bowens. Runner takes off for third. Another big swing and a miss from Bowens, and the throw down to third ends up in left field. Rounding third is Barmakian. The throw to the plate is not going to be in time, so an early 1-0 lead in the Schooners' favor. And shaken up at third is James. Now he's going to get up and looks to be okay. Bender's throw was a little bit too out in front towards almost Bellini at short, and James just couldn't handle it, and so the errant throw scores Barmakian.
That was definitely a rough collision, but if you got to get to the bag, you got to get to the bag. And that was unfortunate. He did slide in feet first, and then Orby, waved him around after the pass ball.
Now this pitch to Bowens, misses low, 1-2 now the count.
Thought there might be a little bit of interference on that one, too.
Yeah, it would have been a close call either way.
That's true.
You know what? Yeah, I mean, we did see interference in Monday's game, last time out for the Gulls. Justin bases loaded situation, and Justin Henry and Malloy came home on a ground ball, and the throw was to the plate. Malloy slid through and might have clipped the catcher's foot a little bit as the catcher was throwing to first. The throw ended up in right field, but because Malloy clipped the catcher's back foot, they ruled runner's interference and resulted in a double play to end the inning.
We had something similar happen out at second base where Isaiah Byer slid headfirst into the bag and was called for interference as well.
Now this 1-2 to Bowens. Lines back into the screen behind the plate. Count remains.
I see for the most part those interference calls go 50-50 most of the time. They could go either way.
It is tough. It's a judgment call. Now, that one's a little bit tougher because there is no resulting throw to another base for another runner. And so that one a little bit maybe tougher to call for the field umpire. As this 1-2 fastball in the dirt low and away, 2-2. Whereas if maybe they're trying to throw another runner out to another base, it might be a little bit easier to call runner's interference. But in that situation, you probably are going to see it less likely. It's Cherry looking on now out of the windup. 2-2 pitch. Fastball missing low again. 3-2.
So that will be ruled for Barmakian, a stolen base into third and then an error on the catcher going home.
So count now full to Bowens. Cherry on the 3-2. Catches Bowens swinging for strike 3. So 2 straight strikeouts for Cherry on the mound, and there's 2 away in the first.
TT does not like this field at all.
Yeah, he's had a tough go here the past 2 games, that's for sure.
That was the only 2 times that you guys have seen him, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
he wasn't around for opening
night. I don't think we saw him opening night.
I think he appeared the next week he came in.
Yeah, he was not in the lineup opening night. Now, first pitch to Matthew Toke. He takes one over the heart of the plate. 0-1.
Toke, we've seen him go down really deep in the count before. He's been trying to swing a little bit earlier, so we haven't really seen him work the count a little too much the past few games.
Now this 0-1 pitch misses low. 1-1. He's working the count there. Righty on lefty matchup for
Cherry on the mound. Delivers a 1-1 fastball that misses low. 2-1. Toke of Seton Hall hit 290 this spring. 394 on base.
He's been seeing a little bit of a slump in his hitting, although he has been drawing still a decent amount of walks to get on.
Yeah, 256 this summer, but 8 walks. That's towards the top in Schooner's team. Is this 2-1 pitch he watches for strike 2. I mean, 8 walks, second on the team, I believe, to Barmakian, who is the leadoff man with 10 walks. And so you get that out of the cleanup man in your lineup. You'll certainly take that production as this 2-2 pitch to patient Toke watches outside. Count now full.
Toke has a habit of drawing the full count and then going down, 7, 8, 9 pitches in to draw that walk. And in some cases, draw a hit off of it as well.
Now this 3-2, he's going to drive into center field, and Zaid is just looking up as it's going to be into the trees, and that's a solo home run for Matthew Toke. And the Schooners take a 2-0 lead here in the first.
First home run for Matthew Toke, and then there's almost every single person in this Schooner lineup who's had a home run this season. Beam, Bowens, now Toke, Kessinger, Byers. You're only missing really Martin. I don't think Barmakian has one, and Otaka, who is pretty new to the lineup.
Well, he got one about belt high there over the heart of the plate, and he knew what to do with it. I mean, you look at his numbers in Seton Hall, and he does have some power to his name. And that's why he's in the cleanup spot. Is this first pitch to Hunsinger. Fastball over the heart of the plate for strike 1.
Now, interesting thing about Hunsinger, he does lead the team in stolen bases. So once he...
So 1 misses low, 1-1.
Once he's able to get on, expect him to go first or second pitch in, go try and take second, and then realistically, he hasn't really tried to steal third as much as...
This 1-1, chop back into the screen, 1-2.
He's been able to take third on balks, essentially.
Maybe get in the pitcher's head a little bit.
Yep.
And draw a balk. He does have 10 stolen bases, as you mentioned, leads the Schooners. Now this 1-2 going to be chopped over to James at third. He fields off at 2 hops, throws to first in time for out number 3. But the Schooners score 2, including a solo shot from Matthew Toke here in the first. And it's 2-0 Gulls trail heading into the bottom of the first here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Bottom of the first here at Cardine. Stephen Huff alongside the voice of the Mystic Schooners, Laura Hoover, and the Gulls field reporter, Nick Bello. The Gulls trail already in the bottom of the first, 2-0 to the best record in the NECBL, Mystic Schooners. And Laura, Luke Hansen is on the mound for the Schooners, lefty from Sacred Heart.
Yep, lefty from Sacred Heart has appeared in 2 games. Both of them started in 9 innings pitched. Reminder, he has only let up 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 6 walks, which has been the major problem the Schooners have had so far this season. As a team, they have walked 63 people and only struck out 122. In comparison to Newport, which they're only striking out about 139, so I mean, when you compare the two, it's not too bad. But in walks category, Newport significantly much more stable, only 46 walks. So this is where you're going to see a little bit of disconnect. Hansen, one of the leaders in the walks category for the Schooners, followed only by Nash Eppard.
Well, the first batter Hansen will face is Scott Holzwasser, the leadoff man for the Gulls, and he's first pitch swinging, and he's going to ground this one past the diving Barmakian into left field. So first pitch, first hit of the day for the Gulls, as Holzwasser is aboard with a single in the first.
Rough start for Hansen to get off on, but I do suppose it is in very similar consequence over to Cherry, the way he started his inning.
So that first hit of the day for the Gulls from Holzwasser will bring up Chris Hamilton. He's been a guy that's been on fire lately, 344 hitter on the summer for the Gulls. This is first throw over to first. Holzwasser steps back onto the bag in time. Hamilton against Ocean State hit his first home run of the year opposite field home run down the line and left as Hansen throws back over to Holzwasser, and he steps right back onto the bag once again. Hansen lefty on lefty matchup. Hamilton pulls this one down the line and right, and it's going to be off the top of the wall. Holzwasser rounding second, helmet falling off, hitting his heels, and now he's at third. Hamilton is at second with a double ball, gets away. Holzwasser coming from third, and he'll score. Hamilton from second on the errant throw gets to third safely. And so now the Gulls only down one off of the mistake from the Schooners, and Hamilton with the leadoff double moves up to third.
What a sequence that was right there.
A lot of action happening early on for both teams here in the first.
Very similar game so far. A little bit of some bad bounces, rough throws from Vinny Martin, getting it down to Otaka. Otaka, when he threw back over to Barmakian, really wasn't able to get a good grip and overthrew Barmakian, who was drawn in front of the bag instead of behind it, holding him on. So that was able to score in Holzwasser.
So it was an E4 that scored Holzwasser as this first pitch to Colton Bender is in there for strike one.
Holzwasser was chugging around the bases too. Lost his helmet at third.
You saw his helmet fall off, and it hit his heels as he was running, as now Bender's going to chop this one over to Barmakian at third. He pumps fake, watching Hamilton to throw to first. Nice dig from Toke as he did the splits. As you saw, double pump fake from Barmakian, trying to test Hamilton to see if he would go. Nonetheless, Bender was out on the play. Hamilton stayed at third. So there is one away here in the bottom of the first. And this game is already an intense one. And we're only one away here in the bottom of the first.
Barmakian uncharacteristically had a bad hop on the throw over to Toke, drawing him almost off. And again, like I said, forcing him into the splits, which is an impressive play by Toke, but it looks painful.
Oh, and it is. As this first pitch to Vosick missed low, 1-0. Second pitch bounced in front of the plate. Hits Vosick after it bounces off the chest of Hunsinger, the catcher. So count now 2-0 to the lefty from Kansas.
So we were talking about Hunsinger leaving the game early last time we were here last week. He actually jammed his thumb in that game, so he was forced out.
Now the 2-0. Misses inside to Vosick, 3-0.
So coming off that game, he had his thumb wrapped for a little bit and played in the outfield out against Danbury.
Now the 3-0 to Vosick. Pitch misses up for ball 4. So runners on the corners for the Gulls. That's the first walk of the day for Hansen on the mound. And so Hunsinger, you said catcher jammed his finger.
Yep.
Couldn't play catcher, and so he moved to the outfield a little bit.
Yeah, had to calm things down, not see too many plays, but he also had to leave that game early as he was arguing balls and strikes with the umpires.
Wow.
So,
wow. So he's been in quite a bit of eventful territory for the Schooners lately. So now Austin James settles in for the Gulls. Runners on the corners with one away in the bottom of the first. Watches his first pitch breaking ball miss up. 1-0.
I mean, if you want some more eventful territory, Mike Caruso also sprained the same wrist a day or two before, so he's in a cast, not expected to return until mid-late July.
Oh, wow. So this 1-0 to James misses up. Ball 2, the throw behind Vosick is going to end up in right field. So walking on home is Chris Hamilton as Vosick chugs on up to second base. And so 2 costly errors for the Schooners ties this one up at 2.
Not something that I would generally see from Hunsinger. However, just the low throw and Toke already guarding the bag pretty heavily off of it really did not help him as he tried to go low, kind of slid on, almost looked like the clay kind of gave way underneath his foot. So he went down to his knees and missed it just a little bit over his shoulder.
So now James swings and misses at this 2-0. Count now 2-1. And you're right, it wasn't an awful throw. But Toke really just couldn't handle it. I think maybe the footing or something did give way there.
You generally don't see Toke going to his knees when he plays in front of the bag holding the runner on.
Now it's 2-1 to James. Fastball in the dirt. Nice block there from Hunsinger behind the plate. 3-1. Runner in scoring position at second in Brett Vosick. Game tied at 2 here in the bottom of the first. Already we've had 3 errors combined between the two teams. Hansen looking on, lefty on righty matchup, delivers a breaking ball that misses up for ball 4. So second straight walk for Hansen on the mound, and that puts runners on first and second for the Gulls. And we're going to see a meeting on the mound for the Schooners.
And that is to be expected. I don't expect any action in the Schooners bullpen to really start this inning. Although if they give up these 2 runs that are currently on the bags, you might see something start happening in the first. Not something you want out of Hansen right now. He's been doing some solid work. I mean, he doesn't lead the team in walks. That would be Trey McLaughlin with 22. But he's in a dangerous situation where you don't want to get so behind where you lose momentum going on forward.
Right. Well, he will face off now against Hayden Jones, who's making his Newport debut. He plays for Mississippi State, who had a College World Series run. So his first pitch to Jones misses up for ball 1. Jones this past spring for Mississippi State hit .224 for the Bulldogs. He was ranked as the 11th best catcher in the nation, and #1 catcher in the state of Indiana, according to Perfect Game, coming out of high school. Now his first pitch, he's going to ground past the first baseman in between Toke and Otake into right field. So he gets a single in his first at-bat as a goal, and that will load the bases for Newport with only 1 away in the bottom of the first for Zaid Walker.
You know, just noticing this, Toke is not having a good day getting his feet underneath him. He was slipping in the infield grass as well, so the play of the field just not gelling with him tonight, and I'm not really sure what is up on the dirt out by first base, but
you did see him lose his footing once again, so I wonder if it's the field over there, his cleats, I don't know exactly what it is.
Just one of those days?
Just one of those days, possibly. So now this first pitch to Walker, breaking ball. He's going to fly this one into right. Coming in a little bit is Martin. He has it. Throw to the plate is going to be not in time. Vosick sliding past it as the throw was a little bit up the line. So a sacrifice fly from Zaid Walker scores Vosick from third. And the Gulls now have a 1-run lead here in the bottom of the first.
And that was a really cannon of a throw by Martin. A little bit high for Hunsinger, though luckily for Hunsinger, he is a little bit taller to make the catch. He tried to turn around and lay down the tag, but by that time, a fraction of a second too late, and he turned just a little bit too over and wasn't able to reach out. And I don't think he realized where Vosick really was on the base path.
Now that'll bring up Joey Bellini. First pitch misses low for ball 1.
You gotta give some credit to Vosick too on that play. He
That was
got down.
gorgeous.
He got down real quick.
Yeah, the
which
throw
is very
was up
smart.
the line, which makes it actually a little bit tougher for Vosick because it was almost in the same spot where he was.
I mean, Vosick still got a good jump on it.
He did, as that pitch misses low. 2-0. But you're right, Nick. Vosick got low, and Vosick has a big frame, but he was able to get low. Hunsinger, who had to go up for the throw because it was a high throw, then couldn't get to Vosick, who did get lower underneath the tack. It's that 2-0 pitch to Bellini. Catches the bottom edge of the zone. 2-1.
Exactly. I mean, it was a perfect play. I wasn't expecting it, really. I thought they had him.
I was a little bit sure about that they did. I mean, at least clip the back of the jersey on the way over, but
Exactly.
that really was a really good duck.
And you saw in the replay, it was a perfect play by Vosick.
Lefty on righty matchup to Bellini at the plate. 2-1. He's going to line this one down the line and left, but hooking foul, so count now even at 2 to the shortstop from Cincinnati.
That scattered the bullpen.
He got the barrel on it, but just a little bit too early.
And I do think there is a little bit of light stretching from the Schooners. I do see some hats wavering out there.
Now the 2-2 breaking ball going to be grounded off the end of the bat over to Toke at first. He fields and steps on the bag for out number 3. But 3 runs crossed for the Gulls in the bottom of the first. Heading into the second, the Gulls lead the Schooners 3-2 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Top of the second, the Gulls lead the Schooners 3-2. Stephen Huff alongside Laura Hoover, the voice of the Mystic Schooners, and Nick Bello, the Gulls field reporter. Justin Cherry's out there for his second inning of work with his DeGrom-esque flow coming from his cap.
It is really gorgeous.
It really is, isn't it? I mean, and his windup, it almost reminds me of Tim Lincecum in his prime. Longer hair, kind of I mean, look at that windup that he has. This first pitch, it's going to be lined past James at third, sliding from Bellini. He's able to stop it from leaking out into left, but there is no play at first, so Kessinger is aboard with a leadoff first pitch single.
So off that sliding throw, it does look like the grass is pretty slick out there. I'm not sure if that was from earlier today, you know, just traditional watering of the ground, or still a little bit damp from yesterday.
Yeah, it could be a little bit slicker out there today, going off of what, you know, Toke sliding out there, and now Bellini, you saw him get some grass stains on his pants. The laundry guy is going to have his work cut out for him there tonight.
And I know you should be expecting some sliding plays, but even for a sliding play, that's a little bit momentum coming from a slick grass.
So this first pitch to Byers, misses inside, 1-0. Yeah, certainly. I mean, I definitely hear what you're saying, and I think you might be on to something there.
I mean, we did have fog into pretty much late last night.
Now let's throw to first. Stepping back in time is Kessinger.
And of course, by the 3 errors combined, there must be something on the field that isn't just gelling with these players right now.
Something to keep our eyes on moving forward, if it affects play at all anymore. Now this 1-0 to Byers. Cherry looking on out of the stretch from the first base side of the rubber. Delivers a 1-0 fastball, swung on and missed. 1-1.
Byers is really a game-by-game situation for him right now, and he started off this season fairly hot. Had a pretty few games, and then he's been trying to get on more and more. He's been working on his swing with hitting coach Eric DeGree.
This 1-1 misses up throw behind the runner at first. They're going to say didn't get the tag in time. Kessinger, I thought the throw was there, but Kessinger had a nice slide around the tag, so he is back safely.
Almost swimming back into the bag.
So Cherry looking back, count 2-1 to Byers at the plate. Delivers the 2-1. It's going to be flown into left. Going back is Cavalieri and Walker. They're looking up, and it's going to be off the top of the fence. Rounding third is Kessinger, and they're going to put the brakes on. So second and third for the Schooners off of that double from Byers, and there's no outs here in the second, and 2 runners in scoring position for Mystic.
Really good call by head coach Phil Orby, who is out on the third base line for the Schooners right now. They don't want to risk not hitting anybody in, and keeping 2 runners on is a much safer way. You got nobody out.
Yeah, I think especially with no outs, that's a tremendous call. I mean, maybe if you have 2 outs, you're pushing it. Maybe with a different scenario, especially so early in the game. With no outs, great call.
You do have Martin and Otaka to round things up, so you can essentially have a little buffer in the last 2 lineup. And then you got the power hitters with the top of the order, which you really want working to get these guys around and to grab some insurance runs, hopefully.
Cherry stepping back onto the mound. It's 3-2 here in the top of the second. Newport leading Mystic, but Mystic with 2 runners in scoring position. It's this first pitch, big, long swing and a miss from Martin at a pitch inside on the inner half of the zone. 0-1. No outs here in the second inning. It's Martin at the plate from Massachusetts. Lowell hit .235 this spring for Massachusetts. Lowell hitting .211 for the Schooners so far as he pops this one back into the screen. 0-2.
Martin didn't see an at-bat last night, or at least Monday night, but he did see the the top of the 9th inning. Came in defensively after a little bit of change between the outfield, but he did see New Bedford and had a pretty solid day. 1 walk able to reach, and then that eventually came around. He got a stolen base, and then a sacrifice and 3 ground, and those 3 were all groundouts. So
now the 0-2 pitch, another long swing and a miss from Martin, sends him down swinging for strike 3. First out here in the second, 3rd strikeout of the day for Cherry on the mound. So with 1 away, that will bring up Daidai Otaka. First time we get to see him here in Newport.
He's making some tremendous plays defensively, and he really wants to work his bat into the equation. I mean, taking a look right now, he really hasn't registered a hit. However, he has gone on base.
His first pitch to Otaka. Fastball misses low. 1-0.
On some walks and an error. Although this past season he was only batting not too bad for him, 237, and so he averages in the past 3 seasons 227. So we should be seeing him round up to about that number sometime this summer.
Now this 1-0 misses inside, 2-0. And he had 245 this past spring for Yale, his junior season. Consistent guy. Missed a lot of 2018 because of an injury his sophomore year.
Yep.
But his freshman year hit 245 again. So very consistent at bat for Yale and throughout his career.
He does have a little bit of a back strain, back injury, so that is.
This 2-0 pitch. He watches Cruz on the inner half. 2-1.
That's really the only thing that we're seeing right now that is really affecting his batting average and him working back into it. He only just started this past week, so very kind of be a slow start we're expecting for him.
Now there's 2-1 to Otaki. He's going to chop down the third base line, but James watches it trickle foul, so count now even at 2.
I mean, Kessinger hustling down the line almost into home plate territory before he realized it was foul.
Yeah, a slow roller like that. There's a chance he beats that out. If James options to throw to the plate, there might be a bang-bang tag there, but Kessinger had an opportunity to tie things up. Now there's 2-2 to Otaka. Fastball misses up. Count now full.
Otaka would love to draw the walk on this play and able to set up Barmakian with bases loaded. And Barmakian able to hit into the gaps out pretty decently. And Barmakian, a more traditional pull hitter, would be a great person to set things up.
Now his payoff pitch is going to be off the end of the bat towards the warehouse out of play. So count remains full to Otaka. He battling at the plate, staying alive, working for that, possibly that walk, just any way to get on base and keep the inning moving. Trying to get these runs on the board for the Schooners.
Any sort of decent single by Otaka into any of the gaps should plate both Isaiah Byers and Nolan Kessinger.
Cherry delivers the payoff pitch. Misses up for ball 4, so Otaka does just that. He draws the walk, first walk of the day for Cherry on the mound, and it loads the bases for the Schooners as the lineup flips over in Steve Barmakian.
I mean, we've already seen Barmakian hit once, and if he can do something similar to that, get on base in some capacity, as really setting up, David Beam, T.T. Bowens, both of them who are strikeout and who are really hungry to keep their batting averages, pretty healthy.
So now we're going to see a meeting on the mound for the Gulls. Greg Zacharson, the Newport pitching coach, going out to meet with Justin Cherry as the rest of the infield joins the meeting. I don't suspect a change on the mound either, just as you didn't from the Mystic side of things in the first. I think it's just an opportunity for him to calm things down for Justin as we see Mackenzie Stills run out to the Newport bullpen. I don't think it's going to be Mackenzie Stills warming up necessarily either. As you see, no one is warming up for the Gulls in the bullpen if you're watching with us here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. But there is no one warming up, and Justin Cherry will remain out on the mound as the meeting on the mound is commenced.
And I do think that tonight will be more of a hitter's night rather than the call to the bullpen. So more than likely we're going to see both teams go pretty deep in their bullpen tonight and more or less rely on the other defensive positions to kind of hold everything in place.
This first pitch to Barmakian, he watches it over the heart of the plate for strike 1. And this certainly feels like a hitter's night already here, just through 1 1/3 of an inning.
I mean, it was Monday night for the Schooners as well. Loaded the bases and walks twice.
So one pitch catches the outer edge. 0-2. Barmakian already doubled off of Cherry in his first plate appearance coming in the first inning. But now he's down 0-2 in this count. Cherry looking on righty on lefty matchup. Delivers 0-2 pitch that misses just outside. Count 1-2.
Barmakian thought about it, hesitated, just a little bit too outside for his comfort zone. And
And that's a pitcher's pitch right there,
Yeah.
because you know you don't have to come into the zone, so he tried to get Barmakian the chase. Barmakian laid off. Now the 1-2. Fastball misses low. So count now 2-2. And this is where it gets a little bit tougher for Cherry, because you know you're going to have to attack the zone at some point. Do you try to get Barmakian to chase, or do you come and attack the zone right now? Cherry looking on the 2-2. Delivers a fastball that misses low, skips in front of the plate, but a nice block from Bender keeps it at bay. So count now full for Cherry on the mound.
And if I'm not mistaken, with that close call in the dirt, Barmakian also leads the Schooners team in hit by pitches. I think he already has 3 or 4 to his name this season. And he had one squarely in the lower back against Danbury last week.
Now this 3-2 pitch just misses outside, so back-to-back walks for Cherry on the mound. That will bring in the tying run for the Schooners. So we are tied at 3 here at Cardines, and that one is, probably one Cherry wants back. It was an 0-2 count and then 4 straight balls. Barmakian didn't take the bat off his shoulders once. But now, to Cherry's credit, outside of the pitch in the dirt with Bender's block, pretty much all 3 of the other balls were really pitcher's pitches out there.
They really were, and he's in a very dangerous situation. Okay, Beam and Bowens. Beam could hit into the gap very easily.
So this first pitch to Beam over the heart of the plate, 0-1.
Although I'm more worried about T.T. Bowens coming to the plate if I am Cherry. And that's something that you would want to try and avoid, play out some sort of double play, or at least get someone out on the run in, and then you don't have to face Beam, or you don't have to face Bowens, or you get someone else to intentionally walk Bowens.
A double play is a pitcher's best friend. It would get Cherry out of this jam right here. Tied 3-3 here in the top of the second with 1 away, bases loaded for Mystic. This 0-1 pitch is going to be chopped down to James at third. He catches it, steps on the back for 1, throw to first in time for out number 3. So a double play does get Cherry out of the jam. But Mystic does score 1 in the second. They tie things up at 3 heading into the bottom of the second. It's 3-3 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Bottom of the second, tied at 3 here at Cardines. As Luke Hansen will face off against the 9-1-2 hitters for Newport. As looking elsewhere across the nation in Omaha. The Game 3 of the College World Series just started a couple minutes ago, 3 minutes ago. 7:09 was first pitch between Vanderbilt and Michigan, as Greg Cavalieri will settle in at the plate to lead things off. Of course, Newport has a couple alums from both sides of that game. From Michigan, Jake Bromglin is a Newport Goal alum. It's his first pitch to Cavalieri. Fastball catches top half of the zone.
From last season, too. What I add.
From last season. Now this 0-1 to Cavalieri. Fastball top half of the zone once again. 0-2 Vanderbilt, of course. Isaiah Thomas is a current player that Newport is still waiting on to arrive after, of course, he finishes things up in Omaha. As this 0-2 pitch is swung on and missed for strike 3 for Cavalieri. First strikeout of the day for Hansen. Then, of course, other current Vanderbilt players, Justin Henry, Malloy, and Mackenzie Stills. Vanderbilt Commodores, but they are already with Newport here, as you might see them on the bench. Mackenzie Stills in the bullpen. We saw him run down there. And then other Vanderbilt alums, as Scott Holzwasser settles in, pops this one up behind the plate, trying to field it as it comes over towards the booth, as you probably heard it hit right above us. Strike number 1. Other Vanderbilt alums and Goal alums include Steven Scott, Ty Duvall, Jake Eater, Jason Gonzalez, J.J. Blade, and Drake Fellows. So this 0-1 skips in at the plate, 1-1.
Now, J.J. Blade was the highest drafted goal in this year's MLB draft.
Of course, 4th pick overall in the draft by the Miami Marlins. Now this 1-1 pitch misses up, 2-1. Steven Scott just, I believe on Monday, it was 3-year anniversary of the Gulls' only Grand Slam walk-off, and it was off the bat of Scott.
Oh, I think that's true.
Now this pitch misses outside.
You also have Jason Gonzalez and Jake Eater from last year, too. 2 amazing players.
So this one's going to be lined into left. Holzwasser continues his nice day at the plate. Back-to-back singles for him.
And not too bad of a start for Hansen. I mean, starting with a strikeout, 3 pitches in, and then only giving up 1 hit. He's setting himself up pretty decently compared to the first inning, which he doesn't really want to repeat right now.
Yeah, I mean, and this is kind of where he's tested. You know, we always talk about second and third time through the lineup, but also top of the lineup is really what did the damage for him. And so this is where he will be tested. But you're right, already doing a little bit better, even though Holzwasser did get a single off of him as his first pitch to Hamilton misses inside. 1-0.
Jake Erie actually just went to the bullpen for Vanderbilt as Michigan takes a 1-0 lead.
So Eater might get into that game, former Newport goal. As 1-0 pitch misses low. 2-0. Hansen looking on lefty matchup against Hamilton. Delivers a 2-0. Holzwasser takes off for second. No throw down. This pitch misses up. 3-0. Holzwasser aboard second with that stolen base.
Yeah, it was Hunsinger. He didn't really think about it. Just the good jump by Holzwasser. He didn't really want to throw down and check him down there at second.
Runner in scoring position for the goals. Bottom second, tied at 3. So now this 3-0. Hamilton watching all the way as this pitch over the plate for strike 1. Hamilton in the first. RBI double to score Holzwasser, and Hamilton later came around to score as well as he watches this 3-1 miss up for ball 4. So he will be aboard for his second time tonight, and there's runners aboard first and second for the goals with 1 away. Colton Bender settles in at the plate. Colton Bender, 364 hitter for Newport, second best average on the team. 5 doubles, so he can hit for power, can hit for average, but also 5 walks, one of the more patient hitters on the team as well. Lefty on righty matchup for Hansen on the mound. First pitch to the Quinnipiac catcher misses low. 1-0.
Hansen really not liking the pitches that he's throwing, and he's losing a little bit more control as he gets later into the second inning. Started off pretty well, but then threw almost 3 straight balls.
He throws another one here as this fastball misses low. 2-0. I wonder if it's becoming a little bit frustrated maybe even too, or a little bit nervous as he's giving up some of these hits and walks. Now the 2-0 pitch misses inside. 3-0.
Yeah, the cutter just did not work for him, trying a little bit too early over the plate, and Hunsinger had to go reach for it. There is a little bit of tossing in the Schooners bullpen, at this rate to be expected.
And in the goals. This 3-0 pitch in there for strike 1. Count now 3-1 to Bender.
I really wouldn't be surprised if we go ahead and see Gabrielson or Jackson come in relief for Hansen.
This 3-1 to Bender is going to be flown into the right center gap. It's going to go all the way to the wall. Rounding third is Holzwasser. He'll walk in easily. Coming to the plate is Hamilton. There's no throw there either. So 2 runs will score off a 2 RBI double from Bender, and the Gulls now lead 5-3.
I think it's safe to say the bats are finally here in Newport after a rough start at the beginning of the season.
Winter Road said they traditionally take more time to heat up, but they are coming, and we've seen it. You know, the statistics just 2 weeks ago, they're hitting .218, and now the team coming into tonight is hitting .269, the 4th best in the league, as we now see a meeting on the mound for the Schooners.
It's the pitching coach and general manager, Dennis Long, just trying to come in and talk down Hansen. But still a very well-placed ball from Bender, right where the field kind of juts back out. And Martin really wasn't prepared to go all the way to the corner.
They will keep Hansen into the game, but you're right. I mean, Colton Bender not trying to do too much with it. Got a pitch on a 3-1 count, a little bit on the outer half. And instead of trying to get around it and pull it, just pushed it to the right center gap, and it got himself a double and brought in 2 runs, and that's exactly what hitting coach Jim Sorrell wants him to do in this ballpark. It's his first pitch, breaking ball to Vosick over the outer half, 0-1.
That right center gap is absolutely nasty too. We talked to Zaid Walker a couple weeks ago about that, and he said it's very hard to play out there.
Yeah, and especially for, if it's hard for Zaid, who plays here as the home right fielder, as this 0-1 pitch misses low and away, 1-1. It's even tougher for visiting right fielders who obviously aren't here nearly enough to get a feel for it.
Well, I mean, you're covering so much ground in the outfield anyway. Just to have a weird cut is even worse.
Now this 1-1 fastball bounces in front of the plate, 2-1.
I mean, not only are you covering for your center fielder, but your center fielder can't back you up into that corner because then they have to round the corner, which takes more time.
It messes everyone's angles up, and how it caroms off the wall is different every single time. As this 2-1 is going to be blasted into right. Going back is Martin, looking up as that ball is going to be off the top of the wall, and it's going to be out of here. 2-run home run for Brett Vosick, and that will extend the Gulls lead to 4. They now lead 7-3.
I don't expect Hansen to be staying in for too much longer, and pitching coach Dennis Long is still trying to figure out if his bullpen is warmed up, and I'm not sure Phil Orby coming out to talk to the first base umpire.
That was Vosick's first home run of the year. As you saw the 41-foot netting come into effect there. We talked about it a little bit earlier. I was waiting for a signal from the umpire. I thought it was pretty clear that it went off, but they didn't make a ruling at first on whether or not it was off the fence or the net. I thought it was off the net, and then as Vosick was rounding second, they did make the ruling, and so it is Vosick's first home run of the year, and it is a 2-run home run to give the Gulls a 4-run lead.
And I'm thinking that is what Phil Orby is talking about to the first base umpire, is the ruling that make it late or make it early.
Yeah, exactly. And, it's a unique characteristic of Cardines because the 28 feet high fences is unique enough, but then you add the netting, and that's to protect the houses.
And did you say the netting was new this year?
The netting, I believe it is new this year. Might have been new.
No, it's been here for a few years
okay,
now.
a few years, but it does result in a home run.
So it does look like it's going to be Ethan Rutzan coming out for the Schooners from the bullpen. Although double check when the number on the back if he returns around.
So we will have more information on the Schooners pitcher coming up after this break here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Bottom of the second, there is a new pitcher on the mound for Mystic after a 2-run home run from Brett Vosick as the Gulls lead 7-3. Stephen Huff alongside the voice of the Mystic Schooners, Laura Hoover. And Laura, who is that new pitcher for the Schooners?
Well, it's number 45, Ethan Rutzan, the pitcher, the righty hurler coming from Crystal Lake, Illinois. Junior, setting 6'4" on the mound this season from St. John's University. And he has yet to register a hit, an ERA. 3 games appeared, 5 innings pitched, 3 strikeouts, 5 hits, no wins, no loss, no saves so far for him.
It's his first pitch from Rutzan to Austin James, misses low for ball 1.
Fellow Johnny.
Of course, Nick Bello, who's in the booth with us here tonight, is also a student of St. John's. This first pitch, or 1-0 pitch to Austin James, breaking ball in there for strike 1.
Had a little bit of an off year this year compared to years in the past, but Ed Blankmeyer likes to send these guys all over the place for the summer.
Now this 1-1, another breaking ball on the outside half. Gets out of the reach of James's bat, 1-2. So with Rutzan coming into the game, that will end the day for Luke Hansen on the mound. 1 1/3 innings pitched, gave up 6 hits, 7 runs, 5 of them earned, while walking 3 and striking out 1. As James swings and misses at another breaking ball for strike 3. So 2 away here in the second. That's the first strikeout of the day for Rutzan and the first batter he faced.
And that's something that you really want to see coming out of Rutzan because he is a mid-relief pitcher. hasn't really seen too many innings in full relief, and the last time he pitched was out against Danbury last week, so he's had quite a bit of time off to kind of rest, and that is another thing that's hurting the Schooners bullpen, is they have had too much time rest.
Now this first pitch to Hayden Jones, misses outside 1-0. So they almost can't get into a rhythm from the too much rest. Now this 1-0, going to be flown into center, but right to Beam, who's underneath it for out number 3. So goal score 4, but then a reliever comes in for the Schooners to get the next 2 retired. Heading into the third, the Gulls lead the Schooners 7-3 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Top of the third, the Gulls lead the Schooners 7-3 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Stephen Huff alongside the voice of the Mystic Schooners, Laura Hoover, and the Gulls field reporter and our own air guitarist, Nick Bello.
Talk about before the game, both like Jimi Hendrix.
Are both Jimi Hendrix fans.
Count me in as a third.
Oh, nice.
How can you not be? It's his first pitch to T.T. Bowens. Swing and a miss for strike 1.
He probably has some of the best guitar riffs.
I
mean, probably every single guitar riff is the best I've ever heard in my life.
Now the 0-1, another big swing and a miss at a pitch low and away. 0-2.
See, here we're going to get into a difference because he is the best guitarist in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, no, I agree. I'm not going to argue with you on that.
Okay, good.
Now this 0-2 to Bowens. Misses up. 1-2. As far as air guitarist goes, I think Nick Bello might take the cake. Now this 1-2 fouled off of Bowens.
I appreciate it, Steven. I really try very hard with my air guitar
I've seen
moves.
you practice it multiple days here.
Oh yeah, it's what I do on my off days here.
We got air guitar over here. I'm on the air drums.
Air drums. I'll take the air triangle.
Have ourselves a little air band.
Cherry looking on righty matchup. Delivers 1-2 pitch to Bowens. Another swing and a miss. That pitch low and away for strike 3. It's the 4th strikeout of the day for Cherry on the mound. 2nd for Bowens at the plate. And I believe, what is that, his 6th here at Cardians?
7th.
He had 5 strikeouts his last time here.
Plus the 1 in the first inning, now plus this 1.
So he's at 7 in 2 games. Now this first pitch to Toke. In there for strike 1.
Toke not having a bad day with a solo home run shot.
Now this 0-1 misses low. 1-1. Yeah, 1 plate appearance and has a solo shot to the ledger. Can't do much better than that. Is this 1-1? He's going to fly into left, but coming in is Cavalieri. Going back from short is Bellini. Cavalieri will handle it for out number 1. Out number 2, excuse me. Looked like Cavalieri, at first off the bat, I thought Toke got a little bit more underneath it. Cavalieri first step was back, as most outfielders' first step is. And then Cavalieri's speed was able to make up for it as he came charging in for the 2nd out here.
Yeah, watching Toke in batting practice, he was hitting things pretty heavily up into the screen today, not really too much out.
Now this first pitch off the end of Huntzinger's bat, 0-1.
And to a similar point, Huntsinger was going pretty much down the line either direction today, so not seeing the bat where he normally goes into each other gaps.
Now this 0-1 pitch misses inside, 1-1. Huntsinger hitting .259 this summer for the Schooners. On the 1-1 pitch, another pitch missing low and away for Cherry. 2-1. He's been hitting that spot quite often, at least this inning. Bowens was helping him quite a bit in the first plate appearance here in the 3rd. Huntsinger able to lay off. 2-1 pitch going to be grounded over to Bellini at short. He slides, able to stop it, but not able to come up with it cleanly, and there is no throw, so Huntzinger's aboard with a hit.
Good effort there by Bellini to even get to that ball.
That's the second time we've seen him with a diving attempt and able to get a glove on it. Obviously, neither of the plays able to make a throw, and we don't expect him to, but able to show off his range a little bit to at least get to the ball as Kessinger settles in at the plate. Righty on lefty matchup. He watches first pitch fastball in there for strike one.
Yeah, the two similar things between Hunsinger and Bowens going after those outside balls. They're both at about the same stature, not at the same shoulder width, but the same height. So Bowens will try and go after those outside balls.
Oh, so one misses outside, 1-1. Kessinger for UMass this spring hit .258, 337 on base. Now the throw over to first. Nice pickoff move from Cherry, but able to get back in time is Hunsinger. Hunsinger standing tall from first, leading off. Cherry delivers 1-1. Runner takes off. Pitch misses low for ball two. The throw, little high. Holzwasser makes a nice jumping attempt, but underneath the tag is Hunsinger. So runner in scoring position for the Schooners with 2 away. So that's the 11th stolen base for Hunsinger on the year. He leads the team in steals, and he's their catcher.
Yeah. He's also 6'4".
6'4" catcher that leads the team in steals. Just keeps getting better.
And not let like a very stocky 6'4" catcher. He is, I think he was like
he's pretty lean.
175, 200, rounding up to there.
Now there's a meeting on the mound, not between any of the coaches for Newport, but Colton Bender and the middle infielders. It's a 2-1 count here in the top of the third with 2 away. Runner on second for Mystic. The Newport Gulls lead the Schooners 7-3. Kessinger is at the plate for the Schooners. Left fielder for Mystic from the University of Massachusetts. Hit .258 for UMass this spring, hitting .222 for Mystic this summer. Now this pitch, gonna catch the bottom edge of the zone. 2-2. Cherry out of the stretch, looking on. Now looking at Hunsinger at second. Delivers the 2-2 fastball, misses low. So count now full to Kessinger.
Not surprised to see Hunsinger with a generous leadoff at second. Although I don't really expect him to be going on too many pitches here.
Now the 3-2 from Cherry, swinging is Kessinger at the plate off the end of his bat and foul. So we'll go again.
Hunsinger, one of those guys who likes to dance with his leadoff and kind of keep this bouncing on the soles of his feet just to keep sure that he would be able to take over if need be.
Now Cherry on the payoff pitch. Going to be chopped back over the head of Cherry. Behind the bag, Bellini fields, throws to first in time for out number 3. So no runs crossed for the Schooners in the third off of 1 hit as they leave one stranded. Heading into the bottom of the third, the Gulls lead the Schooners 7-3 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Bottom of the third here at Newport, and the Gulls lead the Schooners 7-3. Stephen Huff alongside the voice of the Mystic Schooners, Laura Hoover, and the Gulls field reporter, Nick Bello. And with it being the bottom of the third, Nick, I'm going to look over to you. Fill us in on those games you previewed at the top of the broadcast. What's going on around the league?
Oh, why, thank you, Stephen. So we got Upper Valley leading Keene 3-1 in the bottom of the third. Winnipesaukee absolutely trouncing. Winnipesaukee losing to Vermont 8-1 in the bottom of the fifth. Sanford trailing North Adams 3-1 in the bottom of the third. Vineyard and Danbury tied at 1 in the bottom of the fifth. And bottom of the third, New Bedford leads Ocean State 3-0. And might as well throw in a little College World Series update too. 1-0 Michigan, top of the second. 1 man on second, 2 outs for Michigan.
So Wolverines still up and threatening once again. The Danbury game moving quickly.
Yeah.
1-1 already in the 5th. Zaid Walker settles in at the plate for the goal. 7, 8, 9 hitters due up for Newport here in the bottom of the 3rd. Game 7-3, Newport leads. This first pitch, another breaking ball for Rootsan on the mound.
I actually think that Danbury game started at 6 o'clock.
Well, that makes sense why they're
Because
already in the 5th inning.
Same thing with the Winnipesaukee Vermont game.
Now this 0-1 pitch, another breaking ball, big swing and a miss from Walker. Count now 0-2. Rootsan already, we're seeing almost all breaking balls from him in the 2, now 3 batters he's faced. Now he's going to come back with a fastball. It's going to be grounded over to Otaka. He fields, throws to first in time for out number 1. Seems like he likes to start off at bats with breaking ball. Then he did it against Walker, and he did it against Hayden Jones. Then he comes back with a fastball later on in the at-bat.
Yeah, he definitely has a routine which you can follow pretty cleanly. And that starts with the first time seen, and then he kind of starts to change things up as he gets more comfortable on the mound, and as people have seen that breaking ball a little bit too much.
Now this first pitch to Bellini. Breaking ball this time misses up. 1-0.
He also got a very odd stance, almost the crouch position, where he puts most of the power behind his back foot.
Now this 1-0 pitch chopped foul. 1-1. It kind of drives forward with his back leg. Doesn't quite hop like Walden does. If anyone remembers, Walden pitched for the Braves for some time, a reliever that would hop on the mound. It kind of drives forward like Walden did. Now it's 1-1. This is low. 2-1.
Almost if you were going to start running.
Yeah.
Like in a dead sprint.
Now there's 2-1. Slider misses up. 3-1.
Rootsan generally doesn't have too much issue with the control. However, we're seeing this become more and more apparent today, and then he generally does try and bounce back after a pretty rough outing.
So that 3-1 to Bellini misses inside for ball 4. So that'll put aboard Bellini at first. First walk of the day for Rootsan on the mound. With 1 away. Runner on first, that will bring up Greg Cavalieri. Cavalieri in the 9-hole today, where he's usually hitting for the goals, but he does have the best average on the team for Newport. As he watches this first pitch. Fastball miss in. 1-0. Cavalieri, 382 average for Newport. Now this 1-0, runner takes off for second, so we can ground it over to Byers at short. He backhands it, throw to first in time for out number 2, but Bellini was safe at second as he was stealing. So runner in scoring position for the goals, but there are 2 away as the lineup flips over for Scott Holzwasser.
Byers did have a chance to go for the double play. However, he was able, again, swinging behind him. Not the correct motion that he really wanted to. He didn't like where the placement of the ball was. I would have said I normally would have seen Byers throw to Otaka, who then goes down to Toke, but the way that this infield's been playing today, he chose for Toke and just at least get the 1 out and try and keep this ball game moving forward.
And I tell you what, with his momentum going the other way, then have to come back and get the backhand play. Excellent defensive play from Byers as this first pitch misses up to Holzwasser for ball 1. But then also, you have to make that play quickly because Cavalieri has a lot of speed. So for him to not go for 2 and just try to make the play at 1. Excellent play all the way around for Byers at shortstop. Now this 1-0 to Holzwasser, another slider missing up. So 2-0 from Rootsan. Again, score 7-3 here in the bottom of the 3rd. Runner on second for Newport with 2 away. Rootsan looking on out of the stretch, delivers 2-0, swung on and missed. Count now 2-1. Still gray skies around here at Newport. It's cooling off a little bit.
Preferably no precipitation.
This 2-1's going to be lined over to Byers at short, and he's there for out number 3. So no run score for the goals in the 3rd off of no hits and 1 walk as they leave 1 stranded. Heading into the 4th, they lead the Schooners 7-3 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Fans, this
top of the fourth here at Cardines. Newport leads Mystics 7-3. Stephen Huff alongside the voice of the Mystic Schooners, Laura Hoover, and the Gulls field reporter, Nick Bello. But since it is the top of the fourth, I'm going to hand it over to my broadcast partner, Laura Hoover. Laura, take it away.
Thank you very much. Starting things off for the Schooners, it is the bottom of the order and Isaiah Byers to lead off, who's already reached once and able to have a double today, which is surprising for him. Hitting real well out here at Cardines Field. Already had a grand slam last time we saw you guys into extra innings. And he'll be taking a swing, miss, unable to make contact against Justin Cherry. I do believe is going into his fourth inning of work after what we thought was going to be a rough few first innings.
Started off slow on the day, but has kind of settled into a groove.
In the dirt outside, the 1-1 count.
I mean, you look at Cherry's, production of work. Gave up a leadoff double. Came around to score on a throwing error while Barmakian stole third.
Lined it into the screen down the line in the 1-2 count. He wanted to go yard with that pitch.
And then on the same inning, Matthew Toke took him yard for a solo shot. And then start the second, gave up a leadoff single and a double, and that scored another run, walked a pair of batters in a row. But now he's kind of settling into a groove. Struck out 4. Got 3 out of the last 4 batters retired.
Steps off the mound as Byers calls time. Again, a reset of the 1-2 count. He'll step back into the box. Set his bat on his shoulder, await the pitch, take a swing. Unable to make contact. He'll go down for the first out of the inning.
And so I think, racking up these strikeout totals, that's now 5 and 3 1/3 innings pitched. Retiring 5 out of the last 6, 6 actually out of the last 7 with that double play to end the second, excuse me. Getting out of those jams and bouncing back from the rough start, I think that'll do a lot for his confidence, just knowing how the game started and now where he's at.
Well, it's the right field. Vinny Martin now to the plate. Struck out last time. He was in the second inning. Takes a jab on the inside ball, and there goes strike 1.
And then, of course, having the run support on the other end with the Newport's bats coming alive at the right time makes it easier for the coaches to leave him out there to get through those, struggles on the mound as well.
Knocks it into the gap, and that is picked up by Holzwasser, and a play down to Hamilton will be the second out of the inning for a beautiful 4-3 play.
Yeah, I mean, that is not just a normal play from any normal player. That is a highlight reel play that takes a really special second baseman to make. In shallow right field, rolling away from first base, rolling towards first base, but his body's rolling away, his momentum's going away as he fields it, and he's spinning as he makes the throw too. So really just a terrific play all around from Holzwasser.
It's really hard to get your bearing off the play. Pitch into the dirt on the other side of the batter's box to Daidai Otaka.
If you think about that play, he's fielding it. As he's spinning, he has half a split second to really look at Chris Hamilton, make the perfect timing throw, and then while his momentum's throwing away.
Chops it down the line. It stays in fair territory. Barehanded down to Hamilton, and 3 up and 3 down for the Schooners. So 3 very impressive plays, a strikeout, and 2 groundouts to end the top of the fourth. It's the Gulls still leading the Schooners 7-3 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Chris Hamilton, Colton Brender, and Brett Bosick, I do believe, with the first 3 batters due up in order for the Newport Gulls, facing off against Ethan Rutan for the first time individually. And Rutan going into his second full inning of work for the Mystic Schooners. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. 7-3 is the score. Gulls on top of the Schooners. Rutan, and that's lined into Otaka's glove. Past 3 plays on either side of the diamond have been very impressive so far.
Yeah, and you got to start feeling for these hitters because the balls they put in play have been really good hits. That one right there by Chris Hamilton pulls it, strong contact off the bat, but like you said, great play from Otaka. The last 3-4 hits on either side have really been well-placed balls, but the defense really showing up here in these last, inning and a third.
A little bit slow to get started. It was definitely thinking to be a hitter's day, and it still will turn out to be as such in the first 2 innings. As Rootsan has one into the dirt, and there's ball 1 to Colton Bender. Bender, the catcher this afternoon. RBI single, and that one will be another single for him. So 2 for the day. Sorry, an RBI double in the second, and then a single in the fourth just now, and a ground out as well earlier on. And it looks to be Phil Orby coming to the mound to talk to Rootsan. More than likely, it will be a call to the bullpen for the Schooners, and it looks like it will be. So we'll try and get you all of those numbers when we come back on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
The new.
It looks to be Keith Gabrielson for the Mystic Schooners on the hump now. Gabrielson with one win, no loss, and no save with a 7.10 ERA. He's appeared in 5 games and 6 innings pitched, struck out 5 batters, walked 5 as well, and has given up 6 hits. The righty hurler from Princeton University hails from Knoxville, Tennessee. The sophomore standing 6'6" on the mound, the tallest Schooner on this roster.
And he looks intimidating on the mound. I was talking, a week and a half ago at this point to Trevor Kelly, AAA pitcher for the Pawtucket Red Sox, AAA affiliate of the Red Sox. And it was Trevor Kelly and general manager for the Newport Gulls, Chuck Pava, out there before the game. And Trevor Kelly mentioned how how the mound out there for the Gulls is one of the highest he's seen, and how that's kind of rare in today's game.
Outside corner, and there is ball 1 for Gabrielson.
And how this mound is taller than most, and so then you put a pitcher on the mound that's 6'6", makes him look even taller and more intimidating.
Throw down to first, and he's back in plenty of time. Just keep in check out there. Gabrielson, fastball and slider, 2 best pitches, although his consistency on his slider a little bit iffy. You did actually see Gabrielson last time we met in 1 innings pitch. He gave up 2 runs at that time, 1 hit, 1 walk, and he only faced 5 batters. So, as he has the 1-1 count to Vosick. Make that the 1-2 as he tried to swing on the pitch, unable to make contact. Vosick 2 for 2, 1 for 1 today, reached on a walk and a home run shot. On the outside corner, knots it up at 2 apiece.
I never thought about the height of the mound. It does look a lot higher now that you think about it.
You don't think about it until a AAA pitcher comes and mentions it.
That's a good point.
Behind the screen and a reset of the 2-2 count.
And especially for Kelly, but I think, it affects all pitchers. But Kelly mentioned him being a side armor, how it can affect his breaking ball pitches quite a bit.
Yeah, sure.
Because his arm slot's different, and but I think it will affect all pitchers, and how their pitches and how the action comes out of their hand.
Tipped back, and again another reset of 2-2. I mean, you're looking at a different mark essentially.
Yeah, coming up at a higher angle almost. Higher angle of attack coming in.
And I think it could be an advantage for, a guy like Keith Gabrielson, 6'6" on the mound and his arm slot. You're looking down on some of these guys at the plate.
Another high ball, and there's the full count.
But I tell you what, that fastball right there that missed up on a mound that might be a little bit smaller, that might be a little bit closer to the, upper half of the zone. Maybe not by much, but inches can make all the difference in this game.
Gabrielson walks his first batter after facing 1 on and 1 away. Rootsan still having the book open on him as he's responsible for Colton Bender, who now moves up to second base.
And so another guy that you want to look at if you're a Newport fan and you think, who could that affect on the Newport side that I'm going to, see more often? Jordan Marks, I think, is an excellent example. He's one of the, taller guys on the team. And he's a guy that kind of struggled to get the ball lower in the zone at the beginning of the season. Through 2 appearances, gave up a home run actually on opening night. You saw him here Flora to David Beam and then gave up a double in his next appearance. But he pitched last time out here at Cardines, and one of the things he wanted to do was get the ball below the belt.
Well, that one does get below the belt and looks like the knees as well. So a little bit too south of a pitch for Gabrielson, pitching over to James. He'll find ball 1.
And I think one of the things, because, he's struggling getting the ball down lower in the zone, now he's getting it.
Knocked down the line, although it draws foul territory. The 1-1 count to James.
Could be because the mound's a little bit higher. But now you're seeing, Marks, once he figured it out, like we said at the top of the broadcast, 7 innings pitched, just gave up 2 runs, 8 strikeouts, including 6 in a row at one point to just 1 walk. So he's becoming a really dominant pitcher now that he's a little bit more comfortable out there.
This mound may be an advantage for the pitchers who do throw low, as he works ahead of the count with a 1-2.
I also wonder if it's an advantage for a hitter too, because you can get the ball up higher, I guess.
Yeah,
if
you
it's
can
coming
get
from yeah,
you can
exactly.
get underneath it a little bit more. And certainly here, with the dimensions, you can.
Yeah.
With the lift, you can get underneath the ball. And the craze about launch angle, it could be an
Exactly.
advantage for some hitters.
Checks his swing, doesn't go around, so draw the 2-2 count to James.
I wonder if that's why we see so many home runs in a park like this with high fences.
Yeah, certainly
could be.
Yeah, it could be.
Could be part of it.
Interesting science equation that we can figure out one day.
This is the length of the park certainly isn't in favor of a hitter.
No, definitely. And the high fences don't make it any easier, obviously.
Takes another ball, and there's the full count to Austin James. Gabrielson exclusively working from the stretch. Faces 2 on. Checks his swing, doesn't go around, and that's 2 straight batters walked for Gabrielson, and he loads the bases.
Trying to find the zone already for Gabrielson. He's kind of been up, kind of been low, and just hasn't really been able to get into that rhythm just yet, and it's resulted in 2 straight walks, and now bases loaded for Newport here in the 4th with only 1 away. Hayden Jones at the plate, and Newport already leads 7-3. Dangerous spot for Gabrielson.
Well, Gabrielson was high against Vosick, low against James. In theory, he'll be dead center for Jones.
Aggression to the mean a little bit.
Well, you're facing 2 batters, and you've seen this mound before. Popped foul, it does, and it goes the 0-1 count. Jones into the gap, and almost fielded by Byers, but that will play to run for Newport, leaving the bases loaded again.
Yeah, great piece of hitting there from Jones at the plate. Another pitch on the outside half, and he sees there's a big hole because Byers was holding Vosick on at second, and so he just puts it in between third and short. But I tell you what, if Byers doesn't make that diving stop, they're going to send Vosick around third, and Vosick is probably going to be another run that scores. So we've seen it twice from Bellini, now we see it from Byers. A great stop at short just to keep the ball close to the infield to at least slow a run down now.
Into Vinnie Martin, and that will be a play to have, I believe, only 1 out.
And we saw a play there from the sacrifice fly earlier from Zaid Walker that scored Vosick from third. Vosick bluffed that he was running on this one. The throw to the plate this time got cut off. Vosick went about halfway up the line, then went back to third. Interesting that they didn't test the arm once again, try to squeeze another run out of it. I think maybe that's because they have a 5-run lead this time.
I mean, you always want some insurance runs nonetheless. That one goes skyward behind into the, well, I would like to say the street behind us, but obviously we can't really tell. So foul ball to Bellini.
I think that one carried farther into the neighboring parking lots.
Preferably not, but I see your point. Inside, there's ball 1. I mean, we've already had a broken windshield and a tail light out at Mystic.
Really?
To the same person on 2 different games.
Oh, man.
Up high, and there's the 2-1 count to Bellini.
That's unfortunate.
Yep. 2 different spots, too. He even moved his car.
That guy just has bad luck.
Yeah, he's a ball magnet.
Now, would it be smarter to park in the same exact spot in the theory that the ball wouldn't go to the exact same spot?
I think it was 2 years ago he also broke his back windshield in the same spot.
Oh.
So, I don't think so.
He can't win.
3-1 count. Bellini faces, bases loaded and 2 away.
He must be friends with his local body shop by now.
A good thing or a bad thing?
Probably a bad thing.
And walks in a run. That's his 3rd walk this evening. So Gabrielson will walk in Vosick, force James to 3rd, Jones to 2nd, and Bellini now lands himself on 1st. That will draw the 9-3 lead. And another call to the bullpen this inning for the Schooners. With that, I take that back. No call as of yet.
Just a meeting on the mound as of right now.
Although the bullpen is creeping out, so
And the home plate umpire, Stephen Williams, is going out to the mound. But the meeting on the mound commences as we speak.
So maybe giving him another chance to end out the inning. And there are 2 away. But if he does walk in another run or another run plates on its own because of a hit, I do suspect Gabrielson will be finished for the day. So that brings up Cavalieri to the plate for the Gulls, who again now lead 9-3 over the Schooners. Hit upon, it's Kessinger to try and field in left field. It is, I can't tell if he made the catch or not.
He's got it, I think.
Either way, he went flying into the bullpen. I think he tripped on one of the mounds out there. So that will retire the side after the fly out to Kessinger. 2 hits and plenty of walks for this half inning. Gulls lead 5-3 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Steve Barmaki and David Beam, T.T. Bowens due up in order in the 5th inning for the Schooners, trying to get their bats working, facing off into his 5th inning of work, Justin Cherry for the Newport Gulls, who lead the Schooners 9-3 again into the 5th inning of work. 2 runs plated in the bottom half of the 4th for the Gulls, 1 drawn off of a walk. And we're trying to round things out over into the 5th inning. Barmakian able to reach twice. 1 double and 1 walk. Be finding ball 1. Take that to 1-1.
Yeah, and this is exactly what Winter Road wants out of his starters. Even though it was a rough start, able to get 5 innings, 6 innings if you can, and then go to the bullpen to shut down the rest of the way.
Swing and a miss will be Barmakian sinking behind the count, the 1-2.
And I think with this run support that Cherry's had on the mound, the Gulls coaching staff's able to have that a little bit longer of a leash.
Swing and a miss will bring down Barmakian to start off the inning. And David Beam, who's not had the day that he's wanted, with a strikeout and a ground out in the 1st and 2nd innings he's been up.
What's interesting about the Schooners lineup, every time, we've been with each other, there's the top of the lineup the first time that's been productive, then the bottom half that's been productive. Here today, it's really the middle of the lineup that's been firing on all cylinders. That goes to show that it's a well-rounded team, but also that they're not out of this game at the same time because they can all be clicking, and if they get it all clicking, that they can all, come back. I know it's 9-3 right now, but they're all very dangerous, and they've proven it multiple times.
We saw last time, when we saw each other last week, the 1-1 count to Beam. We thought that game would have ended a lot quicker than it did. And into the 10th inning, it didn't end at all.
Yeah.
It seemed to go on for more than I think either one of us wanted. But enough to be said about that. On the inside, there's the 2-1 count. Beam has worked ahead. Like you said, top of the order working opening night, bottom of the order working last time we saw you. And now it's the middle of the order once again, trying to do its work, the 2-2 counter beam. Although I don't expect until the 8th or 9th inning till the whole lineup just starts to click together. Definitely a back late innings kind of team when everything starts to actually turn the wheels correctly. Lined into James, and third time that Beam's been out. It's second out of the inning so far for the Schooners.
And how about the day James has had over there at third? Traditionally a middle infielder, but he's transitioned over to third quite a bit this summer for Newport to make room for some of the other middle infielders. Had a barehanded play down the line, now over at the hot corner making that snag on that line. Incredible day there for someone playing out of position.
Brings up T.T. Bowens, who fouls off the first pitch he sees. Also not having any time that the productivity that he wants facing off against Newport. 7 strikeouts, as he'll take that one in the dirt, the 1-1 count. 7 strikeouts against Newport.
Yeah, 8 plate appearances here at Cardines.
I think the only other time was a ground out, right?
7 strikeouts. It was a line out over towards third.
That was close. Bowens over the gap and picked up by Holzwasser to Hamilton, and he'll be out. Another 3 up and 3 down. Schooners will retire the side without having a hit registered. We go to the bottom half of the 5th here on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Hey, Gulls fans. You don't have to just listen to Newport Gulls baseball. You can watch it too, live on the
Keith Gabrielson going into his first full inning of work for the Schooners. He's still going to be up on the mound. Although it's top of the order for the Newport Gulls, Holzwasser, who's been doing some amazing and insane work at second base for the Gulls.
He's 2 for 3 at the plate, 2 runs scored. He had a play in shallow right a couple innings ago at second base, had that diving play to end the inning in the top of the 5th.
One as well.
I mean, what can't he do? He sang in the pregame interviews.
That's right, he did sing.
I mean,
forgot about that part.
This guy can do it all.
Beautiful rendition of the Star Spangled Banner, might I add.
Wow.
Man
he
of many
draws
talents.
the 0-1 count. That one was behind us again, and that one will, I think, clip him up in his helmet.
It did hit him in the head. Helmet came flying off.
Not sure if that was off the rebound of his shoulder or not. So
It did hit him in the helmet, and he looks to be okay as he jogs down the line. We hope he's okay.
I mean, he's walking, so that is a good sign. He is breathing, which is also a good sign. And he's also standing, which is also a good sign.
Well, you know what? I mean, we were saying, what can't he do? And there he is, okay on first. So he can take, one of the, fastball like that. And we are happy he's okay. Where he's going to get the trainer just to make sure. Concussion protocol,
I mean, if you get
take it
drilled into the
seriously.
head, I should hope so.
Yeah. He's smiling about it.
Did he just wave her off?
I think he did. Tough kid.
That is
tough kid.
Holzwasser-esque as he gets a round of applause from the crowd.
You know, he did tell me last week that his favorite baseball player was Dustin Pedroia, and he is having a Dustin Pedroia game right now.
He really is.
He's doing a little bit of everything. A lot of grit. Can't teach that.
Impressive defensively, now offensively. As he slides back into the bag. At this rate, just stay there for a bit.
Gabrielson can't give him a break.
I know. Don't draw another, being hit. Again, throw over to Toke, and he's back in time. Let the poor man rest. He just got nailed in the head by one of your fastballs. That does bring up Chris Hamilton awaiting his first pitch from Gabrielson. Swung upon, and Holzwasser going, backtracking to first. He will also lose his helmet in the process, so maybe get him A chin strap as well?
He is the one that probably loses his helmet more than anyone else out there. Every time he runs, probably rounding second is the most, stealing as well. It seems like his helmet falls off.
So get him a chin strap, right?
Yeah, maybe.
I think that would help.
Third time this game, including the when he got hit in the head.
At that point, you probably want the helmet off.
We should look back on the year and count how many times Holzwasser has lost his helmet.
Could make a little montage of Scott Holzwasser losing his helmet.
Inside, there's ball one. Or at least mark them so that by the end of the year you can make one. Gabrielson facing one away and one on. Holzwasser to go. Huntsinger off the bounce. And good jump by Holzwasser as he slides aggressively into that bag. And there goes his helmet again.
Right on
Make that 4 times.
I mean, it's only fitting that it would come off on that play as well, right?
Sure. I'm surprised the hat didn't come off when he was diving for that last play.
Have we seen his hat come off today?
Maybe when he went to the dugout. I'm not sure.
That's voluntarily.
You didn't specify.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Colton Bender with the 1-0 count. 2-0, excuse me. Into the sky, and that's fouled behind, and he'll draw the 2-1. Also able to reach twice today and ground out once. Both times he's reached, he has come around to score. So has Holzwasser. Bender. Awaiting the pitch from Gabrielson. Again, looking to go into his first full inning of work coming off of 2/3 innings pitch in the 4th. Finds another ball in the 3-1 count.
Holzwasser kind of toying with Gabrielson out there on the base pass as well. You saw Gabrielson throw over to first twice. Now Holzwasser stole second. Now Holzwasser on second with that leadoff. Kind of toying with him, getting in the head of Gabrielson.
Gabrielson high again. There's another walk, and
I wonder if Holzwasser has anything to do with it. 2 straight balls after Holzwasser stole second, was getting the attention of Gabrielson, helping out Bender to draw the walk, and now there's runners on first and second with 1 away for the Gulls. The guy that had the 2-run shot earlier, Brett Vosick at the plate.
Holzwasser looked like Muhammad Ali out there.
Really?
Doing a little couple of dances.
Swing, and he will not draw contact, the 0-1 count. Vosick able to reach all 3 times, 1 solo home run shot, and 2 walks that he all 3 times able to come around and play to run. As I can taste bug spray in my mouth.
It's that time of year.
It is that time of year, but I feel like I'm just inhaling it at this point. Back on the rubber is Gabrielson. Another swing, unable to make contact, the 0-2. Again, goals on top of the Schooners, 9-3. We're in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Scoreless top half. Gabrielson inside, and there's the 1-2.
Of course, you take the trade-off with Mosquitoes rather than, the Yankees. With what was it, Midges a long time ago with Jabba Chamberlain?
Yeah, I think it was like Gnats or something.
Gnats or Midges. And then I think the spray that they used, so as Wasser dives back to second on the fake pickoff, I think the spray that they used actually attracted
that's
various bugs.
Didn't that
I remember that
happen with some bees?
Might have been.
This season as well?
That happens a lot.
Pop foul. Martin to try and chase after it. I don't think he'll get there. I think that goes into the... Oh, he does. He did get it? He did get it. So fly out to Martin in right field. Will have a second out of the inning. And draw up Austin James.
Moving up on the play from second was Scott Holzwasser. Nice base running IQ from Scott. Taking the free base when it's given to him. So runners on the corners now for the Gulls with 2 away.
James able to reach twice on a walk and strike out once, so he's over 1 on the day. Though he hasn't come around to score yet. He's been stranded both times he's reached. Inside. And there's another ball. So second time facing off against Gabrielson is Austin James. Gabrielson looking to retire the side early. Down the middle, there's the 1-1.
We have people on the roof of a house down the first base line right now.
That seems dangerous.
Looks like a fun time to me.
Don't try this at home. Down the middle again, the 1-2, and there's the fastball we've been looking for from Gabrielson. Hasn't been able to find his mark virtually all night. Finally starting to come around and getting set once again back on the rubber. Faces off against James. Runner going, and no attempt from Hunsinger, and that will be a stolen base for Bender.
So now it's a 2-2 count to Austin James. He's been patient at the plate all night. 2 walks already to his name, and he's hasn't really lifted the bat off his shoulders this at bat.
Swing and a miss will bring him down, leaving 2 stranded off a walk and a hit by pitch. And a scoreless inning. This will be Gulls still lead 5-3 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Top half of the 6th inning, and there's a new pitcher on the rubber for the Newport Gulls. I'm Laura Hoover alongside the voice of the Gulls, Stephen Hoff. Why don't you tell us a little bit about this new pitcher?
It's Jimmy Kingsbury on the mound for the Gulls in relief for Justin Cherry. He's a rising junior of Villanova University. Kingsbury is making his 4th appearance for the Gulls. He has a 3 ERA for Newport. 2 saves already to his name. His 6 innings pitched, given up 4 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned. Has walked 3 batters with 8 strikeouts. Teams are hitting just 190 off of the righty of Villanova. So that will end the day for for Justin Cherry, on the mound. He went 5 innings pitched, gave up 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned, walking 2 while striking out 6.
Not bad of a day for Cherry, although Kingsbury looks to try and continue that work. Although it is the heart of the order for the Schooners due up in Matthew Togue, Jerry Hunsinger, and Nolan Kessinger. And like you said earlier on today, the heart of the order is the working order for the Schooners right now. So in effect, it comes into a pretty hefty situation, more or less.
Yeah, at least for him, this is really Winter Road's goal when he's using his pitchers. His first pitch misses outside. Really wants to bring them into clean innings in starting pitcher.
Although Togue will drive that one into the body of Bellini. That will be a hit for Togue.
He wants his starting pitcher to get through 5 or 6 innings, which Justin Cherry did, and then able to bring his relief pitchers in, as I said earlier, into clean innings, and then have the bullpen work the rest of the way through the game. And it seems like they're able to at least implement that strategy here tonight as they bring in Kingsbury for at least the 6th inning of work here.
Yeah, like we said all night, it's been a little bit of slick grass. And again, Hunsinger lines it deep into left field. That will hold Toke at second base. Hunsinger with another base hit for the Schooners. Second of the day.
Back to the slick grass. Our producer, Tom Lima, went out to center field to adjust our camera before the game, and he said it was pretty slick. He went out 3 times. He said it's very slick out there.
Well, that answers that question tonight. Was the grass wet or not? I think yes is the answer.
Yes, with visible proof.
Hey, if we have confirmation for someone who went down and walked the field, I would say it was still a little bit wet from last night. And probably this morning, too. Down the middle, and Kessinger will take strike 1 across the plate.
So already the first 2 batters hitting against Kingsbury. He's only given up 4 hits coming into this one and through 6 innings, so a little bit uncharacteristic start for him.
Another strike across the plate as Kessinger holds. And if you are the Schooners, that's what you would like to be seeing, is this lineup starting to come around and actually effective hitting off of the pitches.
Now, of course, that's kind of what we were talking about. It's the middle of the order. Now, that's done the damage, and it is the middle of the order at the plate right now.
Although Kessinger finally draws one outside.
And so if you're looking at it, now they just need, if Kessinger is able to, work his plate appearance here, the bottom of the order to come through, and Mystic could really make a ball game of this.
Well, Byers has able to reach, although he was part of a double play. And then so has Otaka and Martin with a sacrifice. So not too bad of the order, although it will be a swing and a miss, bringing down Kessinger to have the first out with 2 on, and now 1 away, bringing up Isaiah Byers, who we were just talking about, able to reach on a double and strike out consecutively tonight, back in the 2nd and the 4th innings. He sees 2 on, 1 away, and that one was Kessinger. Down the middle, strike 1. And Byers hitting pretty decently well against Newport all around. Last time we saw him, and you guys, able to hit pretty well for his bat. Fouls it behind, and there's the 0-2. Same position Kessinger was in, except for 1 foul.
He was the one with the grand slam in the 10th inning that kind of broke the game open a little bit.
Kind of broke my brain a little bit, too.
As now in this one also has a double in his first plate appearance. So, yeah, he has had recent success here at Cardines.
Also down the middle, and Kingsbury catching him looking. So 2 away now, 2 on. It's Vinnie Martin to the plate, who has grounded out and struck out tonight.
So 2 straight strikeouts for Kingsbury on the mound after 2 straight singles against him to start the 6th. Starting to settle into a little bit of a groove out there for the righty.
Martin batting at .211 this season. Drives it into Cavalieri. He'll wait underneath it. So with 3 away, Schooners will leave 2 stranded off of 2 hits, no runs plated, and a scoreless half inning. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Jones, Walker, and Bellini due up in order on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Well, it'll be Brandon White to the mound for the Mystic Schooners in relief for Keith Gabrielson. Brandon White standing 6'1" on the mound, the sophomore from Southern Connecticut State, hailing from Simsbury, Connecticut. The righty hurler has an ERA of 7.71, currently in 3 games appeared, has started 2 of them. 9.1 innings pitched, struck out 5 batters, walked 9, and hit. Not physically hit, but has let up 14 hits. Although, he is one of the people that you want to look out for when it comes for hit by pitches this season. White looking to face off against, like I said, Jones, Walker, and Bellini. It will be Hunsinger to continue behind. He led the team in wins, ERA, and balks this past season at Southern Connecticut State. Also, was second in the team for hit batters with 10. So, interesting choice for coming in relief. Pitches 2 seam fast, slider and a changeup. And finds the 1-1 count, make that the 2-1.
So that will end the day for Heath Gabrielson. 1 2/3 innings pitched, gave up 1 hit, 1 run. It was an earned run. 1 strikeout to 4 walks.
Into the screen, and there is the 1-2 count.
Wasn't a terrible outing for Gabrielson. When you look at hits, runs, it was just the walks, and he really struggled with control from the get-go. And the walks is what really killed him, the free bases out there.
It really did. He walked in a runner, which is, as a pitcher, pretty detrimental. 1-2, reset. Jones faced the 1-2 pitch from White. Takes a jab, and he'll go down swinging. So first out of the inning. And we'll bring up Zaid Walker, who has not had the day at the plate. Flew out twice to Vinnie Martin in right and grounded out once.
So not a bad start to the day for Brandon White on the mound. Obviously exactly what you want, getting a strikeout right where Gabrielson left off.
Ball 1 to Walker. Walker 135 on the season, slugging at 216. Will find his second ball tonight. White has also seen Newport back into the first game. He pitched 2 innings, gave up 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, and faced 7 batters. He finds the 3-0 count to Walker. Lines it over the head of Byers, and it will be into Kessinger, unable to field it as it goes to the fence. That will be a stand-up double for Zaid Walker, the first hit he's seen tonight.
Yeah, and if you're Zaid, 3-0 count, you're not expecting, a lot of the hitters to be swinging on that one. It's usually the 3-1 that they have the green light. Zaid, on the other hand, had a feeling that a pitch would be coming over the heart of the plate, so he was swinging on the 3-0, and he's able to have a nice double down the line and left. And that's one way to get the bat going at the plate for him. And with 1 away, now there's a runner in scoring position for the Gulls.
Bellini's already drawn 2 walks off of Schooners' pitchers. Popped out once to Toke at first base. Facing off against White for the first time. Takes one down the middle, but oh no, it is a little bit low. Ball 1. White not having the day he wants. 1 strikeout and a double. Facing the runner going. Hunsinger throw down at third, over his head, and he will play 1 run off of the throw in.
Yeah, that's what the pressure that Zaid Walker has on the base pass. Has a lot of speed, and so it puts the pressure on the catcher when he's going. Hunsinger to throw a little bit out away from the bag and gets away from Barmakian, who didn't really have a chance at it. So another throwing error, and that will bring in another run for the Gulls.
Walker advances on the stolen base, then the throwing error from Hunsinger, who faces 2 errors tonight. Popped up behind, and Hunsinger unable to chase it. It goes behind us as well.
And that's, identical to the play that we saw in the first. With, I believe it was Chris Hamilton or Scott Holzwasser. One of the two was stealing. And Hunsinger, almost identical throw that ended up getting away from Barmakian and ending up in left field.
Into the dirt. There's a 2-1 count. Yeah, it was Hamilton who reached third base off of the error after Holzwasser came around, and then reached home plate off the throwing error from Hunsinger. And that would start things off in the first inning. Swing and a miss will knot things up at 2 apiece to Bellini. And I had the miscount. He will be struck out. So 2 away and 1 run plated. So no one on yet for the Gulls as we go to the bottom. And number 2, Greg Cavalieri, the left fielder. 10-3 the score. Cavalieri will line back into White, who makes a reflexive play, and impressive defensive all around tonight. 10-3 Gulls on top of the Schooners. We go into the 7th here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Well, it is the 7th inning and Gulls still lead, 10-3. Take you the rest of the way. Here is Stephen Huff.
Stephen Huff alongside the voice of the Mystic Schooners, Laura Hoover. and the Gulls field reporter Nick Bello. As the Gulls lead 10-3 here in the top of the 7th. Jimmy Kingsbury still on the mound for the Gulls, out there for his second inning of relief, and he'll be facing off against the 9-1 two-hitters of the Mystic Schooners here in the 7th. Dai Otaka will lead things off for the Schooners. He is 0 for 1 today, grounded out in his last plate appearance and worked a walk in his first plate appearance on the day, where he was later stranded on second base. Actually, he was a part of that double play. Excellent double play from Austin James at third, where he fielded the ground ball, stepped on third, and then threw to first across his body to end the inning in the second.
I mean, let's just be honest here. It's been an impressive defense on both sides tonight.
We really thought, how the bats were going, it was going to be an offensive showcase, which it has been, but it doesn't, if you just look at the scoreboard, it doesn't do the defense enough justice, because it really has been highlight reel plays from both sides all throughout the night, really.
I think the one that still sticks out to me is Holwasser's diving catch and throw back over.
It's actually looking at
Josh McGuire?
Pinch hitter. It's number 6. It is Josh McGuire for Dai Otaka. First pitch to McGuire in there for strike 1.
McGuire liking that early fastball down the middle. He'll take a jab at it.
He's going to fly this one into left. Cavalieri over towards the line. He's out there for
anytime.
Number 1.
Anytime McGuire comes up and then hits something solid, I get super excited. So, very sorry about that.
Well, he did make good contact there. It was slicing away from Cavalieri, but Cavalieri was able to trail on over. He does have good speed, so he was able to make the play. So now with 1 away, that will bring up Steve Barmakian. Righty on lefty matchup for Kingsbury on the mound. First pitch swinging is Barmakian. He misses for strike 1.
There's a lot of excitement in the ballpark right now, as our Irish friends have made a return this summer.
The first pitch, or the 0-1 now. There's time called at the plate. Yes, some local Irish college students.
Yeah, so they come every summer, I've been told.
Now this 0-1 pitch misses outside the Barmakian, 1-1.
So they've been coming every summer and come and watch Gulls games. Normally come around this time.
Do they continue to come?
Yes.
Okay.
Now the 1-1 to Barmakian, misses outside once again, 2-1.
They're here almost every night in July, I think, from what I remember.
Once the weather's a little bit nicer, as it has warmed up recently.
They look more like soccer fans than baseball fans.
The 2-1 misses low, 3-1. They are sporting quite a bit of soccer jerseys, especially Irish soccer jerseys.
And that's the funny part too, is they don't really know much about baseball.
I can tell.
It's the 3-1 from Kingsbury. Misses low for ball 4. So Barmakian's aboard first with his second walk of the day. Third time he's aboard safely.
So they do soccer chants throughout the game. They haven't started them up yet, but eventually they will start them up, and they're quite funny.
You see, I don't mind that. I think we need a little bit more of those
Exactly.
that excitement in a ballpark. So soccer chants, those are very, heavy hitting, like get your blood pumping type thing. That's what you need in a ballpark.
It's one of the many unique things about Cardinals Field.
I like it. Unfortunately, we're not coming back.
Now this first pitch to be misses for ball 1.
And here we go.
So you do hear some chants coming from them. Righty on righty matchup for Kingsbury. Throws to first, but sliding back in time is Barmakian.
Almost right on cue. That was pretty amazing.
Good job. You're officially a broadcaster now.
Yeah, I'm the orchestra leader here at Cardinals Field.
Kingsbury looking over at first now. On the 1-0 to Beam. Kingsbury delivers, fastball missing low, 2-0.
A lot of them,
Yeah.
a lot of them too are pretty big cricket fans, from what I remember last year talking to them.
Oh,
so
okay.
kind
So
of
it's
similar. Yeah.
Although my understanding of cricket is there's a lot more scoring going on than baseball.
Yes.
Now this 2-0 to Beam misses inside, 3-0.
I heard it described to me once that the score is on par to basketball.
Oh. I don't know anything about cricket, clearly.
And neither do I. That's about the only thing I heard about it.
Sounds like fun.
Sure. I have no idea, but sure.
Now the 3-0 from Kingsbury, misses outside for ball 4, so 2 straight walks. Puts 2 Schooners aboard, first and second. With 1 away, that will bring up T.T. Bowens.
We'll see if Bowens can get his bat working tonight. He would like that for sure. Being the same deal, though, he was able to finally at least land himself out on the base paths where he'll take it. He hasn't been able to reach today except for this past at bat.
Bowens is 0 for 3 on the night, 2 strikeouts and a ground out. Righty on righty matchup. First pitch to Bowens, big swing and a miss. Pitch up in the zone, 0-1.
Bowens really hungry for some sort of contact that isn't lining into the short infield grass.
Kingsbury looking at second, now delivers the 0-1 fastball over the heart of the plate. So Bowens falling behind quickly in this at bat as well. Count now 0-2.
And that's the pitch that he really wanted but just held back on.
Couldn't pull the trigger. So now he's in a dangerous spot as a hitter. Kingsbury out of the stretch. Time is called at the plate. Stephen Williams giving T.T. Bowens another breather. 10-3 your score here at Cardines. Newport leading Mystic here in the top of the 7th. 1 away. Runners on first and second for the Schooners. Now the 0-2 to Bowens. Over the heart of the plate for strike 3. Catching Bowens looking. That will be his 3rd strikeout of the day for Bowens at the plate.
Make that the 8th here at Cardines Field.
And that will bring up Matthew Toke with 2 away.
I mean, Toke's had a fantastic day. Home run shot and a single, although he was stranded out at second.
So his first pitch to Toke, he's going to be swinging, grounding it up to Bellini at short. He bobbles it, throws to first in time for out number 3. So no run score for the Schooners in the top of the 7th off of no hits and a pair of walks as they leave 2 stranded. Heading into the bottom of the 7th, it's 10-3 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. So 1-2-3 hitters due up for the goals here in the bottom of the 7th as they lead the Schooners 10-3. Stephen Huff alongside the voice of the Mystic Schooners, Laura Hoover, and the field reporter for the Newport Gulls, Nick Bello. As it is still Brandon White on the mound for the Schooners as he faces off against Scott Holzwasser, the leadoff man for Newport in their lineup. Today Scott is 2 for 3 with a pair of singles and 2 runs scored. He's also hit by a pitch and lined out. Also has 2 stolen bases to his name as he watches his first pitch breaking ball in there for strike 1. And on top of that, he probably has a pair of defensive highlight reel plays.
A pair of? I would say more like 3 or 4.
So now this 0-1 breaking ball misses outside 1-1, and he probably has, 4 helmets falling off as well.
I think the counter's at 4 right now.
We need a pitch counter up here just for the helmet.
Now the 1-1, big swing and a miss. 1-2.
If the NECBL had a top 10 play of the night, I think
him diving out towards center field on that line drive from Bowens.
I think the top 3 would be Scott Holzwasser.
Well, yeah. I think
for
you're
tonight.
Right. I think the one against Bowens would be number 1, though. That takes the cake. This 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball lined into left. Going back is Kessinger underneath it for out number 1. Even his outs are spectacular.
Yeah,
he got a nice piece of contact on it. Can't take anything away from Kessinger, though. I mean, took a perfect route and was able to get underneath it for long out number 1.
I mean, even then, Kessinger has stumbled into the bullpen, tripping over one of the mounds to grab
he's played a
stuff.
great game in left field tonight. With 1 away here in the bottom of the 7th, that will bring up Chris Hamilton. His first pitch.
Ooh, I got that clip of the umpire.
Off the mask of Stephen Williams, tonight's home plate umpire. 0-1. Looks to be okay. So you saw Hunsinger give him a little tap on the chest. Stick in there. Brandon White, righty on lefty matchup for him on the mound. Delivers 0-1 breaking ball. It's going to be grounded over to Otaka at second. Drops it on to the dirt, picks it up, and throws to first in time for out number 2. So nice work from Otaka to stick with it.
Yeah, Otaka has definitely changed the game at second base for the Schooners. Actually, no. I would take that back. That is McGuire.
Oh, that's right. Pinch hitter. Forgot about that.
Oh, yeah.
So that will move Otaka out. And I would say Otaka has been a game changer because he really has been for the Schooners. McGuire also doing his fair share of work at second base alongside Lucas, who normally comes in for shortstop to pair up with McGuire, and Otaka to pair up with Byers.
Now his first pitch to Bender. And therefore, strike one. Righty on righty matchup for White on the mound. On the 0-1, it's going to be grounded over to Barmakian at third. Nice diving play towards the line. Throw to first in time for out number 3. So 3 up, 3 down for the Gulls in the 7th. Heading into the 8th, it's 10-3. Newport leads here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Top of the 8th here at Cardines. Newport leads the Schooners 10-3. And there is a new pitcher on the mound for the Gulls. And he's making his Gulls debut. It's Carson Rudd, rising senior of Stanford. For Stanford this past spring, Rudd did not have a decision and a 2.95 ERA. Pitched 21 and 1/3 innings pitched. Gave up just 8 runs, 7 of them were earned off of 17 hits, had 14 strikeouts and 11 walks. Opponents just hit 224 off of him. So this will be Rudd's first appearance as a Newport Gull, and it will come in a 10-3 ball game. So he has a lot of cushion already, and it will come against Huntsinger, Kessinger, and Byers will be the first 3 batters he faced.
You can close the book on Kingsbury with 2 innings pitched, 2 hits, no runs, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. So good work from him.
Yeah, solid day for Kingsbury, especially those 2 hits he gave up were against the 2 first batters he faced. Pair of singles immediately, and then struck out 2 in the next 2 batters he faced. Kind of settled into a groove and got out of that jam. Now this first pitch from Rudd, fastball off the plate for ball 1.
I've been very impressed with the Gulls pitching staff tonight. 2 guys we've seen pitch phenomenally.
Yeah, and especially, you know, some of them getting dinged up at the beginning and then settling into that groove and getting a rhythm. You talk about the confidence that they build off of that, getting mentally out of those jams.
Exactly.
It's that 1-0 pitch missed low and away, 2-0.
It's like night and day, this team, from the first time we played you on opening day.
Oh, it really is.
Yeah.
It's 2-0 fastball over the heart of the plate.
It's like a whole different team.
Exactly. And even from like the past like few games compared to like maybe the beginning of last week, this team has completely
Improved
turned
a
around.
lot. Now this 2-1 pitch lined over towards the house in right field territory, foul territory, and into West Marlboro Street in Newport.
Thought that was going to hit our patrons up there on the rooftop.
I thought I was going to hit the siding of the house.
Everything looks to be okay.
Yeah.
Except for maybe some streets or some cars riding the streets in Newport. Count now 2-2.
The streets could get hurt too.
Pitch misses low. Count now full to Huntsinger.
It's in the next about week and a half in the first few weeks of July that it's going to be tested for every team in the league, and that's where you're going to really see the strength come out of the teams that will probably go all the way, and the teams that will be starting to fall flat.
That 3-2 pitch missed outside to Huntsinger for ball 4, so that is first walk of the day for Rudd on the mound, and that will bring up Nolan Kessinger.
And Laura, our GM here, or our team president, Chuck Paiva, has a saying: this is spring training right now, and then July and August, that's when the real season starts.
His first pitch to Kessinger, big swing and a miss, 0-1.
Schooners have 10 games in the row from the 6th to the 16th.
Wow.
So it's going to be stretches like those that are going to be challenging to at least the Schooners team, and I have a feeling with all these rainouts that it's going to be challenging for every team to be making up those games.
Now this 0-1 catches the bottom edge of the zone, low and away, 0-2.
And I've already heard talks of double headers across the league as well. So
I know we have one next Wednesday here against the Vineyard.
Oh, good luck.
The rainout was rescheduled.
You see, we rescheduled our Martha's Vineyard to our 1-day break in that 10-game stretch, making it now a 10-game stretch.
So that 0-2 pitch misses up and away 1-2. It does get quite a bit hectic. Gives you a real minor league feel, major league feel to the season, which is good for the players because, you know, that's their ultimate goal is to get into those leagues, and good for us too as broadcasters.
I was just about to say that.
This 1-2 pitch swung on and missed for strike 3. First strikeout of the day for Rudd on the mound, and first strikeout for Rudd as a Newport goal.
You know, I must say the experience that, you know, all the workers get, all the players even get at this level is so close to what, you know,
It really does
players
mimic
get. Yeah,
you
exactly.
know, a professional level as best as it can
I
for what is
think-
just a 2-month season, but
Yeah.
you know, it really does portray what a minor league or major league team
I think
feel
the
is.
last time I checked, the NECBL plays more games in more days than what a minor league team would.
Oh, jeez.
So now this first pitch to Isaiah Byers, fastball misses outside, 1-0.
I'm not 100% sure that the amount of games match up consecutively, but the amount of stretches and the how well they're condensed is significantly more than a minor league team would be.
So now this 1-0 to Byers, fastball misses up, 2-0.
The travel too is somewhat similar. I mean, it's not
Bus
in one
rides?
region. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, exactly, the bus rides, but it's not in one region for the most part.
Certainly depends on where you're at, but
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, it can be lengthy, that's for sure. Now the 2-0 to Byers. Fastball swung on and missed. 2-1.
Especially now too that we've added Martha's Vineyard to NECBL. That's a
I don't know
trek.
many minor league teams going on ferry rides.
Yeah, it's
That's
true.
something unique to the NECBL. That's certainly special, but the time length, you know, it certainly adds to it.
I mean, there is some sort of novelty going on a ferry that doesn't make it seem as long.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
true.
I'm sure makes the trip. We haven't done it yet, but I'm
Oh,
sure it makes the
ah.
trip, you know, not seem like
The
as
trip
long
back
as it is.
the trip back is significantly shorter, and it seems significantly shorter.
There may actually be one ferry ride in minor league baseball, and that is the Staten Island Yankees.
Ooh.
They might take the ferry from New York City, but you can also take the Verrazano Bridge.
I wonder which would be cheaper then.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's
it
true.
would probably be a bus ride out.
Yeah, I think so.
Now the 2-1. This is low. They're going to check down to see if he went around on the check swing. He did not. So count now 3-1 to the Alabama shortstop.
Other than that's the only island trip I know of in minor league baseball.
Is there a Hawaii team?
Ooh.
There is not a
don't
Hawaii
think
team in the
there
minor
is,
league.
yeah.
How about Alaska?
And I don't believe there's an Alaska league. There is an Alaska summer
Yeah,
league
there
team,
is.
but they are all in Alaska.
Fair play.
So now the 3-1. Pop back into the screen. 3-2. Count now full to Byers. Now, of course, talking about travel and all that and how hectic it can be, one interesting thing was this 3-2 pitch misses inside for ball 4 to Byers. Runners on first and second for the Schooners. You know, we talked about, I think, on another broadcast at Ocean State, Tampa Bay Rays, of course, have flirted with the idea of, you know, opening their season with Tampa Bay and then the other half of the season in Montreal. And I don't think it's a realistic thing at all. I think it's a leverage move. But there was a minor league team, and it's an affiliate of the Rockies. It's the Yard Goats. That actually had
Hartford,
to
yeah.
had to play a whole season on the road.
That's right.
Because their stadium was under construction, and so you can imagine how long and taxing that season was for them. That pitch missed outside, ball 1.
And they're not too far from here.
No, Hartford,
They're
Connecticut,
not,
yeah.
And so, I mean, the whole season on the road, a lot of bus trips, and you're never really at home at that point. That's, if you're talking about a genuine minor league feel, that's a tough one right there. As this 1-0 pitch fouled back into the screen, 1-1.
You know, the bus trips, though, are probably one of the best parts about
Oh,
this
it's-
level or
it's
minor
a
league
lot of
baseball.
fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun until you play Mafia for the 10th time in a row.
That's true. I did one trip last year to the Cape with the team, and that was a fun time.
Oh, okay, one trip versus
One
the
trip,
entire
that's true.
season. You're getting a little disjointed here.
Yeah, I think a whole season, especially if you're the Yard Goats in that year, a whole year on the road could be.
It's true.
Could be tough.
I mean, you get no legitimate rest from that point.
It's the 1-1. Fouled back into the screen once again. 1 and 2.
Yeah, I wonder how the logistics of that even work.
I can't imagine. It was easy.
Would they even have a home field play per se, like a
I'm sure they were
field?
I'm sure they were. I'm sure they were the home team at least in some games, but they would never played a game in their own home park or at a substitute home park. They always played in the other team's park. So now that 1-2 pitch, breaking ball missed low and inside. Count now 2 and 2.
That would be rough to deal with. There's no comfort of returning back to a park.
Well, imagine then Tampa Bay, having 2 homes and having, to pay for 2 places and never, you kind of have a similar feeling there. That pitch is swung on and missed for strike 3. Second strikeout of the day for Carson Rudd, and now there's 2 away here in the 8th with runners on first and second still for Mystic. But I think the logistics for, Tampa Bay and / Montreal, where do you play your playoff games?
That's true. I think maybe go back to Tampa Bay. Maybe we split them 50-50.
I don't know.
By the round.
I don't know.
Or get a third stadium as a neutral field.
Eliminate home field advantage completely. So now Josh McGuire settles in. First pitch breaking ball catches the bottom edge of the zone. 0-1.
I agree with you, Steven. It's definitely a leverage move, though.
They say it's not. I don't know.
I don't buy that at all.
Yeah, I think it is. I don't think it's going to work out, but it's interesting nonetheless. It's fun to watch as a spectator. So 1 pitch going to be grounded over to Hamilton at first, flipping over to Rudd, covering the bag for out number 3. So no runs crossed for the Schooners in the 8th, off of no hits and 2 walks as they leave 2 stranded. Heading into the bottom of the 8th, the Gulls lead 10-3 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. It's the bottom of the 8th, and Newport leads Mystic 10-3 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. And since it's the bottom of the 8th, I'm going to look over to the Gulls field reporter, Nick Bello. Nick, what's going on around the league? Fill us in a little bit.
Well, there's a lot going on, my friend Steven. Bottom of the 7th, Upper Valley leads Keene 6-4. A final here, Vermont beating Winnipesaukee 13-4. Another final, we have New Bedford defeating Ocean State 7-1. Top 9, in Danbury leading Vineyard 8-7. 5-3 final, North Adams over Sanford. And here in Newport, obviously, 10-3. And a little update on the College World Series, 6-1 Vanderbilt, bottom 5.
So Vanderbilt might be your College World Series champions if they are able to hold on. And Danbury,
yeah,
close one in the 9th. They might be able to pull out that victory. Of course, they're in 2nd place right now in the Southern Division. Now there is a new pitcher on the mound for Mystic. Laura, who is it?
Number 34, Cole Bartles, the pitcher from Belmont, Massachusetts, the righty hurler, standing 6'3" on the mound, a junior at Penn State University. Has a 13.50 ERA in 4 games appeared, 1 inning pitched consecutively. 2 strikeouts, 7 walks, and 2 hits. Faced off twice against Danbury, once at Ocean State and once at Vineyard. So the first time seeing this particular team.
So he will face off against Brett Vosick. First pitch misses outside, ball 1. Vosick on the day, 1 for 2. 2-run home run and a fly out to his name. Also has a pair of walks and 2 more runs scored. Is this 1-0 pitch he's going to line into left. So had a single to his ledger. He's had a quite productive day. That leadoff single here in the 8th, that will bring up Austin James.
Well, Bartle struggles after needing Tommy John surgery that made him redshirt back in his freshman year. But then he has come back this past year, his first full year return. So injured himself in mid-freshman year and had to take a redshirt and sit out all of the 2018 season.
Now his first pitch to James misses low and away, ball 1.
You want to look for the fastball and the curve, although the changeup is losing the control where you're going to see most of these balls come from, along with a little bit of the curveball coming into effect.
Now the 1-0 to James. Fastball comes inside and hits him. Second hit batter of the day for the Gulls at the plate. That will put runners on first and second with no outs. So, of course, with Bartles coming into the game, that will end the day for White and close the book on him. He went 2 innings, pitched, gave up just 1 hit, 1 run. It was not an earned run. Didn't walk anybody while striking out 2.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a pitching change come in pretty early, and I would more likely see Nick Rubino.
His first pitch to Hayden Jones, misses outside, 1-0. Bartles looking on. There's the 1-0 pitch that's going to be lined into center, but right into the glove of Beam for out number 1.
That was a beautiful hit right into Beam, and he came in just a few steps, and honestly, that was basically right into his glove. Not much defensive action required on his part.
Nice hard hit ball from Jones, but as you said, right into Beam. So that will bring up Zaid Walker at the plate.
You could almost say it was beamed into him.
It's getting late here.
Yeah.
This pitch misses low and away, 1-0.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
10-3 your score. Newport over Mystic in the bottom of the 8th. 1 away. Runners on first and second. Now this 1-0 misses low and away once again. 2-0. Saeed on the day. Last plate appearance, doubled and scored a run. Also had a sacrifice RBI fly in the first. Now this pitch misses low and away once again, all the way back to the backstop. So both runners will move up on the wild pitch. 2 runners in scoring position now for the Gulls. Count now 3-0 to Walker. Bartles on the 3-0. Walker swings and dribbles it right back to him. He looks over to third, now throws to first in time for out number 2.
Well, 2 quick away, and that does hold the runners at second and third, whereas Bartles really wanted that to happen. Wanted to make sure that runners were held before throwing over to Toke, and was toying with the idea of throwing down to third, but by that time, Vosick was already back at the bag and not wanting to run.
You know what's interesting is 2 straight at bats for Walker, swinging on 3-0 counts. That one didn't work out for him. Now this first pitch to Joey Bellini misses up, 1-0.
I don't expect Bellini to do too much swinging. He's drawn 2-2 counts twice and then drawn a walk twice as well.
Now this 1-0 fastball misses low and away once again, all the way to the backstop. Vosick coming in, standing up. That will add another run to the Gulls tally as they lead 11-3. Also moving up on the play, it was Austin James.
The Cardines faithful love that one.
So you see, we talked about the Irish fans earlier. They are at full force right now on that 11th run of the day for the Gulls.
Might be getting late for us, but definitely not late for them.
I think this is just the start of their night.
Now this pitch misses outside once again, 2-0.
There they are. There they were, exactly.
So you could see some fog kicking in from the bay behind us.
I would have said the exact same thing.
Now the 2-0 to Bellini. Misses up, 3-0. Well, that's actually ball 4. I missed a pitch. So 3rd walk of the day for Bellini. Runners now on the corners for the Gulls. And you're seeing on the mound Bartels struggling with his control a little bit. And with 2 away, all he needs is 1 out to get him out of the inning. And so that's a plus for him, some silver linings there. But Greg Cavalieri, the Gulls' best hitter at the plate in average, coming up to hit. Righty on lefty matchup for Bartels. First pitch fastball on the inside edge. 0-1.
And Steven, you mentioned that the fog's starting to roll in. I couldn't tell before if that was fog. You can kind of see in the lights, but now
It's coming in pretty thick.
Now the 0-1.
It's definitely fog.
Another fastball in there. Count now 0-2 to the URI left fielder.
I mean, Cavaliers made some solid contact today, but again, nothing that he's done is able to let him capitalize on it.
So 2 misses up and away, 1-2. Yeah, has only reached base. Hasn't reached base yet, but you're right, has had solid contact so far. Looking to reach base safely here on the 1-2. Thought about swinging at a pitch that missed low and in, but held back, so count now 2-2.
I mean, he's only got 1 strikeout in the day. He's grounded out, flown out, and then immediately lined back into, I think that was Brandon White who was on the mound at that time.
Yeah, it was. It's more of a self-defense play from him, but nice catch. Now the 2-2 to Cavalieri. Another check swing, able to stay alive as he fouls this one off. Count remains 2-2. Cavalieri, of course, the switch hitter. Prefers the left side.
I don't think we've seen him switch tonight.
Not tonight. This 2-2 misses up. Goes back to the backstop, and trotting on over to second is Bellini on that wild pitch. Third wild pitch we've seen this inning from Bartles on the mound.
And one of those wild pitches drove in a run.
That is how Vosick scored here in the 8th. Now this 3-2 line back in to the mask of Huntzinger. Looks to be okay, didn't even react.
Weren't we just talking about this? The amount of times catchers either get injured or have to put up with the pain?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like, every time Huntzinger's getting banged up a little bit, but didn't even react on that one. Seems to be okay, so.
He's not the one in the cast.
The 3-2, that's true. This 3-2 is fouled down the line. He is not the one in the cast. He is the one that sprained some fingers, though.
Yeah.
The last time here.
So now we're down to Huntzinger, Jamie Taylor, and then we brought in James Berry again. So he's now on as another temp catcher until Caruso's able to come back.
Now Bartles looking on the 3-2. Runners on second and third for the goals. Payoff pitch. Big swing and a miss from Cavalieri for strike 3. So 1 run scores for the goals here in the 8th off of 1 hit as they leave 2 stranded. Heading into the 9th, it's 11-3. The goals lead here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. The Schooners are down to their last 3 outs here in Newport. It's 11-3. The goals lead. Stephen Huff alongside the voice of the Mystic Schooners, Laura Hoover, and the goals field reporter, Nick Bello. There is a new pitcher on the mound. For the goals, it is Cameron Fair. Fair already has 4 appearances for Newport. This marks his 5th. Has an 11.81 ERA so far for the goals. It's a 2-1 record through 5.1 innings pitched. He's given up 8 runs, 7 of them earned. Off of 4 hits, he's walked 7 while striking out 7. And I think he's a really good pitcher. You guys saw him last. He was the one that was pitching in the 10th inning. High strikeout guy out of the bullpen. I think he just got the short end of the stick the last time out. Just wasn't his day. Ran into some trouble. Obviously gave up the grand slam against you guys in the 10th. And coach left him out there as a mental challenge for him to get through it. And he ran into those troubles, gave up some walks, but he really does have some filthy stuff on the mound. Like I said, high strikeout guy, was a high strikeout guy at Missouri, where he goes to school. And so I think tonight they want him back out there against the team he struggled against as a chance to prove that he can do it once again, and a chance to help those numbers out a bit, because as you can see out of the bullpen, already 4 appearances, this marks 5. That would tie him for the most uses on this team already. So even though he has the bloated ERA, his usage number shows that the coaches really like giving him the ball out of the pen. Now this first pitch misses low. I couldn't tell if they called time there from Barmakian.
I think he was put off by the PA announcer talking in mid-swing, or lack thereof.
Now this first pitch or second pitch is going to be flown into left. Cavalieri's underneath it for a quick out number 1. So 1 away here in the 9th, and that will bring up David Beam.
Beam only able to reach once, hasn't landed a hit tonight, looking to do so just to keep things working for himself. Struck out, lined out, and grounded out today.
Fair working on Beam, righty on righty matchup. First pitch, fastball. This is inside, ball 1.
Fast got some heat on it.
Yeah, Fair, like I said, high strikeout guy, and he really likes that fastball. So you can see it's a low 90s fastball, and that was a low 90s coming out of high school. This pitch is going to be lined back into the screen 1-1. So if you already have, you're touching 90s coming out of high school, it's only going to improve, especially if you're going to, Missouri, one of the top 25 baseball programs in the country. The stuff is there, and it's only going to get better. Now the 1-1. This is in. 2-1.
I mean, realistically, if you are Fair, you're in the part of the order where you kind of want to be. The order where it hasn't done too much work and more than likely can get 3 out pretty easy.
Now this 2-1 fastball. Just misses low. 3-1. So with Fair in on the day, that'll close the book on Carson Rudd's goal debut. Went 1 innings pitched. Didn't give up a hit or a run. Did walk 2, but struck out 2 as well.
Also pinch hitting is Seamus Berry for TT Bowens, who's on deck.
Now this pitch going to be lined back in, popped back into the screen. So count up 2-2. Excuse me, count now full to David Beam. Fair looking on. Fastball going to be flown into center. Going back is Walker. Now coming back in for it. And he can't glove it. And so running around the whole way, hard the whole way, and rounding first is Beam, and he'll be aboard second.
Beautiful hit by Beam into the outfield, and that's what he's been looking for all night. Hasn't been able to make the contact to do so, but finally gets something.
So I think they're going to rule that an error on Zaid Walker. Misjudged it off the bat and then came back in. Had a chance to play, but it was off his glove. So Beam is aboard second on that. Runner in scoring position, and there is a pinch hitter for Mystic.
Like I said, Barry coming in relief for TT Bowens, and injury list temporary catcher, per se.
First pitch to Barry, misses up and away for ball 1. Righty on lefty matchup for Fair on the mound. Now the 1-0. Fastball going to be flown into right. Going back is Vosick. Over into the corner, and he's there for out number 2, but tagging up on the play is Beam. So he is 90 feet away from scoring.
If Beam can come around, that's all the Schooners are kind of looking for. Chip away and just trying to get their bats working at this point. It's essentially the last chance that they'll be able to try and get something working. So at least try and close this lead down just a tad bit more.
There is 2 away here in the 9th. 11-3 your score. Newport over Mystic. Schooners down to their final out. Matt Toke is at the plate. He watches the first pitch. Fastball over the heart of the plate. 0-1.
2 for 2 on the day. Homer, single, fly out, and a ground out.
Yeah, started off today with a huge home run into the tree in center. Added a single to his name, as you said, so he's had a really successful day at the plate. Now on the 0-1 from Fair. Fastball misses up 1-1. On the 1-1. Fastball misses low. 2-1.
Fair been throwing a good amount of fastballs that just outside the zone. Landing Beam, able to make some contact on it.
Now the 2-1 comes up and in. Coming to the plate is Beam. Throw to the plate is not in time, so Beam comes around to score. Newport now leads just 11-4 on that wild pitch.
Second time today that someone's been able to come around and score on the wild pitch. Well, that's not saying much about the one walked in, the one scored on the error, the two scored on the error, realistic. Steve Barmakian, and then also on the flip side, Holzwasser and Hamilton. So 3 different errors scored in runs, 2 wild pitches, and a walk-in.
There have been quite a bit of errors in tonight's game.
Oh, no, I found another one. There's 4 errors.
Now this pitch to Toke. Fouled back into the screen, so we'll go again. So 11-4 now, top of the 9th. Newport leads Mystic. Trying to get their first win against the Schooners on the season. (3-2). Fouled off once again, so Toke staying alive at the plate. As the Schooners are down to their final strike.
I mean, Toke is the guy that you want up at this point.
Fair delivers the 3-2 pitch. Fouled once again down the line and left and out of play. So
also not surprising about a Toke. Like I said, he likes to go deep in the count and work that 7-8-9 pitch.
Like we said earlier at the top of the broadcast, does have 8 walks towards the top in the team.
He's a guy to battle back and take his lumps.
Had more walks than strikeouts for Seton Hall this spring. So now this 3-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3. So that will end things here in Newport as the Gulls beat the Schooners 11-4 and improve to 8-5 on the season as Mystic drops to 10-4. Don't go anywhere. Post-game show coming up in just a second here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. So the Gulls beat the Schooners 11-4 here at Cardines, as it was a good performance all around for Newport. Justin Cherry was tonight's starter for the Gulls. He went 5 innings pitched, gave up 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them were earned, striking out 6 while walking 2. Jimmy Kingsbury came in for relief. He pitched 2 innings, gave up just 2 hits, no runs, struck out 3 while walking 2, and then Carson Rudd and Cameron Farrer each pitched an inning of relief as well, combining for 3 strikeouts, and neither of them gave up a hit. So successful day for the Gulls pitching staff, and then on the hitting side of things, a lot of runs scored for the Gulls. Obviously 11 is kind of everyone's day at the plate, but if you look at it from Mystic side of things, I mean, a lot of walks on the day given up. 8 walks given up from the Mystic Schooners pitchers, and a lot of unearned runs. If you look at the runs given up, you count 4 of them out of the 11, combine that with the 8 walks. That's kind of what made this game get out of hand a little bit.
Just a little bit, considering that they came mainly in the first inning where there was 2 errors that scored in Holzwasser and Hamilton. And like you said, 8 walks tonight, and that has been the bane of the Schooners bullpen, is relying on the rest of the defense to do their job and kind of lacking in the power to throw strikes. They've been doing some good job with ground outs and fly outs. Solid infield and outfield, but that's really overshadowed by how many walks are given up for the Schooners. And we walked into this game 63 walks. And that's not somewhere you want to be this late or this early into the season, going into a pretty hefty stretch where you're going to need all of your pitchers ready and available to do the work that they need to do. And I was talking to hitting coach Eric Degree, and he was extremely frustrated about the hitting of the team. A lot of these guys like to go yard. We saw that today with Matt Toke going with the long ball, solo home run shot, but it's playing the small ball, hitting into the gap, hitting deep into the field, getting the doubles, getting the singles, and bringing people around that they've been struggling with. And they've miraculously gone with a 10-4 record so far, but that can't hold if your power hitters have a bad day, have a slump. And that's seen with David Beam not having the best day, with Varmakian being able to get on, but not necessarily at his own volition. And at the same time, T.T. Bones not having a good day at this park, not having a good season at this park.
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough day, as you said, for some of those hitters that have been consistent for the Schooners, throughout the season, but then couldn't get it going here today. And then, as we mentioned earlier, just some of those unforced errors defensively and all those walks given up.
Yeah.
So the Gulls beat the Schooners 11-4, and as we said, improved to 8-5 on the season, while the Schooners dropped to 10-4 on the year. For Laura Hoover, the voice of the Mystic Schooners, thank you for joining us for the third time already this year. That's the last time we'll see you here at Cardines.
Welcome to the shipyard.
We will see you. I will see you at the shipyard soon. Thank you for joining us, and safe travels back.
Will do.
Nick, I'm going to look to you. I mean, some of these guys, before I turn it to you, Scott Holzwasser, Brett Vosick, Chris Hamilton, great days all around. I mean, player of the game, it's not going to be easy for me to pick.
Well, if I had any influence in this decision, I would say Scott Holzwasser.
I think that's where I was leaning, offense and defense.
And defense. Dude, from everywhere.
Well, I'm going to go find Scott, hopefully. I'm going to send it over to you. Take a look around the league if you want to recap the game a little bit. Take it away, Nick.
Thank you, Steven. As he said, 11-3 final score here in Newport, the city by the sea. Great performance all around today by the Newport Gulls. Great pitching, great hitting, and great fielding, as we just discussed there with Scott Holzwasser, who came through with multiple highlight reel plays here for the 11-3 win. I'm going to take you around the leagues right now. We have a delay going on right now in Keene and with Keene Upper Valley. Final score from the Vermont Winnipesaukee game, 13-4 Vermont. 7-1 win for New Bedford over Ocean State. Bottom of the ninth, Danbury leading Vineyard 8-7. Final score from North Adams and Sanford, 5-3 North Adams. And of course, 11-3 here in Newport for the Gulls. Take you around for the standings too. Northern Division still leading. The Northern Division is the North Adams Steeplecats with 10-4 win-loss record. The Keene Swamp Bats and the Valley Blue Sox are still tied with 7-5 win-loss record. Upper Valley follows them at 7-6. Vermont Mountaineers are 7-7. Sanford Manor is 5-9, and finishing out the Northern Division with a 2-10 record are the Winnipesaukee Muskrats, who come here on Friday to Newport. As for the Southern Division, we have a 10-4 win-loss record for the Mystic Schooners. Followed by them is the Danbury Westerners, who have a 7-4 record, and the Newport Gulls will advance to 8-5 tonight. The Martha's Vineyard Sharks 5-7, Ocean State Waves 6-10, and finishing out the Southern Division is the New Bedford Bay Sox with a 4-9 record. I'm going to send it down to Stephen Huff right now, who has Scott Holzwasser, who is our player of the game.
Thank you, Nick. I'm alongside tonight's player of the game, Scott Holzwasser. And Scott, at the plate, you had a pair of singles hit by a pitch, scored 2 runs. Everything was working for you out there. You even had a pair of stolen bases. Talk to me a little bit. What was working for you?
Just as a leadoff, I'm trying to get on base. And at the plate, get my foot down early, loose hands, and hit the ball hard, get on base, and score for my team.
Everybody's loving you a little bit tonight. Not only offensively, but defensively. I mean, you made some highlight reel plays. We couldn't stop talking about you out there.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I have a coach at college that says defense never slumps, so that's what I try and do, just help out my pitchers and make plays.
Well, nice work out there tonight, and good luck the rest of the season. Nick, back up to you in the booth.
So I got John Perrick here in the booth with me. Now, John, what did you like from Newport tonight?
Well, I got to say one thing. Newport really, they came out, and this was almost, it wasn't I'm not going to say it's a must-win game, but it was a game that they needed after that heartbreaking loss to Mystic last week. And Newport came out a little slow start. They fell behind 3-0, but then what's contagious in baseball? Well, it's hitting, and that definitely was there for Newport. And then, of course, as we just saw, Scott showing off the leather, and it's good to come out with the victory today.
All right, well, John, that's unfortunately all the time we have with you. You guys sent back down to Steven, so Steven, take it away.
So the Gulls beat the Schooners by a score of 11-4 tonight and will face off against the Winnipesaukee Muskrats on Friday. For tonight, I want to thank our executive producer and director, Tom Lima, producer Shannon Carlson, audio technician Shayna Wintraub, on-site engineer Zach Letson, social media coordinator John Semino, statistician Michael Garman, field reporter Nick Bello, and the voice of the Mystic Schooners, Laura Hoover. I'm Stephen Huff saying goodnight from the city by the sea.